Oh, God. Welcome to episode 25 over here cracking right now. Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Woo! I don't even want to waste time on the intro today. Golly.
Let's go.
What is Shannon and Shadeur doing? Oh, it's so much going on. But personally, we coming to the end of our track season. That's exciting. The girls are doing amazing. MJ's realizing, oh, shit, Daddy. Like, I got to learn how to run. But he's doing great. He's now finally locked into the 400. I told him, I said, dog, you're a strider. You can win the 400 without tripping, but you're going to have to go through hell. Because right there around that 200, there's a monkey and a gorilla, and they're going to meet and jump on your back.
Right away.
Right away. So he did that. In football, I realized I suck as a coach. And it's not because of any other reason. I thought I was a good coach. Then I realized, no, I just coached my son. And when he ain't there, shit different. I'm playing, but I'm serious. But I'm trying to build up some work ethic with these kids. I'm not emptying the clip. But boy, it's tough out there. Eugene knows it's tough out there. Dog, it's tough. I'm like, yo, these dudes be running and they be thinking I'm going to get caught. I'm like, no, just run. No one's going to catch you. They be running like.
Wait for it.
So it's a little different animal right now, but all good, man.
You sent Marv Levy a fruit basket or something?
Dude, I need to. All the times that he was out there leading us, it's tough. Like if you ain't got the horses, forget the jockey. Like
Right.
That's
right.
dog, talent first. It's kind of crazy. What's up? What we got here? All white tonight.
We got all white, Richie P, Chicago. Before we get started, I want to send a shout out to the Arenas family.
Oh yeah, respect.
And that near tragedy for that young man, Elijah Arenas, one of the best high school basketball players in the country.
Yeah.
And my kids went to Sierra Canyon with his kids, and my daughters were very tight with the Arenas daughter, Gisela, who hoops at Louisville, with Zach Randolph's daughter, Mackenzie.
Oh, sick. Yeah, man.
And so I saw this kid growing up, and he was always one with a ball in his hand, just the love basketball. Yeah. And that was almost a tragedy. So
prayers up for sure.
Yeah, shouts out to them.
It could have went left.
Yeah.
And that was pretty bad what we saw.
Parents' worst nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I don't even want to go there. Man. Who we got right here? Mismatch, straight from a flight.
You gotta. This is an intentional contrast. I gotta teach you something here.
Okay. That's the next level of fashion.
Yeah. You see the
See, I dress like a football team. Like if it ain't got explicit colors, like black and silver, I ain't wearing it, right? But you looking like that.
You can't go all red. Trip might, set it off. He might start tripping.
What's up now?
Tripping.
Truth.
I gotta balance it out.
Truth, man. Start tripping.
I want to bang it over
For real.
But yeah, we back for another one. Just New York City's finest.
Yeah.
Here repping.
All right. Everybody, just watch him. About hour 2, guarantee you're going to catch him with the snooze. His ass be, like, in normal times, you be tapping out. He just got off the flight from where? Miami,
yeah.
We ain't going to have him all show, but let's go. Who we got here?
Yo, it's your boy Chef Daz. We in the building.
Boy.
Pistons got robbed last night. Let's go.
Man, that's tough right there.
That was a tough loss right there.
We got robbed.
Yeah.
Y'all going to get that series?
Nope.
Oh, you sound like a Laker fan.
Not even that, man. Just the Knicks are the veteran team.
Shout out to New York.
And Bronson balling, Cat balling. So Detroit needed to win one. We should have won that one, and we needed last night. So it's tough, but Detroit basketball is back.
Oh, here you go.
Detroit basketball.
They are back.
We're back.
They are back.
I like them. They good.
No, I love Cade.
Cade is tough.
Cade is dope.
Dog, what happened to him in like his childhood? He don't smile. Like he just be like this dude is a killer.
The Terminator.
He's a killer.
Yeah. Yo, I love it.
He's only gonna get better.
Dog, I've never seen somebody come in rookie year like that damn ready.
He's not even close to his prime.
Not even close.
He's only gonna get better.
He about that
Y'all
life.
got one. Y'all got one with him.
Yeah.
He methodical too. Like
Yeah,
he moves at his own pace.
Yeah, he is sick.
That shot that he missed was really a shot he should have made.
Yeah.
He'll learn though.
Well, he's
a
had,
make or miss
he's
league.
had
That's
2
what they
years
say.
of no pressure on him.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean?
But from rookie year, I was like that, and now it's like.
Yeah, when you play in the worst team, you can do whatever you
do
want.
whatever the hell you want.
You can lose, nobody will care.
Yeah.
It's like,
So they good.
Yep.
What up? It's Terry Jingles, filmmaking extraordinaire in the house.
There you go.
Chilling.
He's still wearing the purple. Still
Yeah,
holding
I still gotta
on.
represent, man.
Gotta
It is
hold
what it is.
on.
I
ain't
had a
looking
Laker
good.
on me, but you know,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm here in spirit though. I'm here in spirit.
It's purple rain today.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
It's a rap.
That's right.
Crying in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
On the piano.
Rain, purple rain.
On the piano.
Purple tears. Purple tears.
Marking off his trip
On the
to
set.
Merck Park. Let's go, baby.
Let's
I was
go.
waiting for on the set.
No, I know,
He didn't say it.
no. I don't even know if that's a real cowboy hat. That thing, that look like Carl's Jr. star. That's a raggedy ass star.
I just get them in different colors, man.
I play for the Cowboys. I know they ain't give me that much love, but they ain't never give me that damn hat. They don't even say Cowboy.
It's a generic star.
That's an
Who,
asteroid.
hey, who did y'all draft? Did you watch the draft for the Cowboys and all that?
I know we got the first round, Tyler Booker, the guard from
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah.
I like that.
He is good, and what a personality. He gonna take over.
Yeah, I like how he came out too.
Yeah.
Very aesthetic.
Yeah, that's dope. All right.
Wait,
last
wait.
but
And
not
the
least.
trip, that's where you stopped after the first
No, I
round?
got the whole. I had to work, so I just taped the rest. I had to work. I had to tape the rest.
And he gonna watch that never.
All right. On DVR.
Taking up hard drive space.
I know, right.
Wait, who still tapes games? Tape the draft.
Trip, him, right after bingo and work. He like, I'm about to go watch this damn game again. Who we got in that corner over there dead?
UGK in the house. Lakers in 7.
right,
Still
that's
believe.
right.
Still believe.
You wearing number 6, but it's in 7. Lakers in 8, motherfucker.
If it said number 8, we would have this. I'm just saying.
Dog, for real, Eugene, is it over for real?
Yeah, after that last game, we'll take game 5, but
And
we
too
needed
much
that
for
last
them.
game.
Too much. Too good,
And
man.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
He don't fear them.
it's tough to sweep somebody in the next 3 games when you don't lost 3 of the first 4.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, that don't add up. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Here goes the show.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
All right, we're going to start off with Shannon Sharpe, who, let's say, this time last week was just getting himself into a mess that continued to fester to a point where now he's not even on ESPN anymore. Still doing Nightcap, still doing Club Shay Shay, the things he owns independently along with the volume. But ESPN, Mickey Mouse, Disney said no more. I'm not going to say anymore. We're just going to talk through this one. There's so many different angles, but first thoughts when you heard Shannon Sharpe sexual assault charges.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
That was my very first thought. And I knew that smoke and fire go together.
Yeah.
And you knew somebody was going to come on the backside of that.
Okay.
Because nobody gets caught on the first time.
Oh, this is gonna be a pause fest. We talking about sex. There's just no way around it.
said, come on.
Matter of fact, let me help you up.
We gotta put like a yellow tent.
I'll take one. I'll take one.
On the color correction.
All right.
That was one.
OnlyFans.
But man, oh man, talk about a serendipitous fall.
Yeah.
You know, wow, he's out the loop now, in the middle of negotiations.
Allegedly. That's a conversation we could have.
No, I mean contract negotiations.
Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly.
That's what we saying. There's been a little
Oh.
more smoke about was there really a negotiation going on at that time, but the beats of it is kind of interesting. Okay. There's been some pushback on that.
Okay.
Not to hijack us and go that far ahead, but the same day that you come out with those negotiations, someone fouls basically the same time. Sounds like maybe it could have been a cover for behind the scenes. This is failing. Let's get our extortion angle going, etc. But I ain't gonna go too deep into that. But yeah, keep going with it. You talking about the fall, like the fall from grace,
Yeah,
like
the
none
fall
other.
from grace is it's a long way down.
Yeah.
It's a long way down, and that man was the podcast hit of the year.
Oh my God, he
You
was
know,
it.
Nobody had a bigger year.
He was him.
He was him.
I think he still is.
Yeah.
When I heard it, I didn't think anything different. When I saw the whole sexual assault thing, I was like, oh, this is a money grab. That was my first thought. And then when I was reading the details of it, what she was saying, oh, he choked me and this and that, and then he puts up the conversation of how they interact with each other, it's like, this is all about the money.
Right.
Now, I don't know how deep about the contract, if it was real or not, but my first thought also was he just had that $100 million thing, and now all of a sudden it's the lawsuit. It just sounds like somebody's trying to get some money.
Yeah. It's interesting when it first hit, I was like, you know, damn, I was like, money grab. But then I was like, before I could even digest money grab, he came out on the attack. And when he came out on the attack, the first thing I thought, because obviously I got experience with this stuff, I was like, this don't sound like this happened in the 90s. This don't sound like it happened with Jay-Z in the 2000s, which never happened, right? I was like, this sound like this just happened.
Last week,
right? So when I thought that, I was like, I hope he is thinking forward, because if you talking about something that just happened, it's a whole different animal. It's text messages. It's just a mediation you just had. You probably was just in settlement talks. Something bad could happen. This person got all kind of different ammunition. One of the reasons Jay-Z came out so strong is, one, he's like, I don't even know the girl, but two, ain't nothing they could say or do that hasn't been done. Because it's 20-some years old. If you had something, you would have came. But you got nothing, this is all you got. And I was sitting there like, Shannon, be careful. And then when he came out on the attack, you always know when you play offense, somebody playing defense, and they get paid too. And boy, that response kind of threw me off.
And when I saw him put the text message out, the first thing I wondered, is he doing this as a reaction, or did his lawyers tell him to do this? Because it almost seemed like he just like jumped out there in defense mode, which
he had to because they had so much sauce already. They had
because they had the lawsuit
they
already.
Had it already. Yeah,
true. But most lawyers would tell you don't say anything.
Yeah,
even no matter what they say, because you're not going to win in the court of public opinion. So just let it play out. I think because he saw.
Well, Jay-Z won in the court of public opinion.
Well, yeah, and I think when Jay-Z did it, people were saying that too. But he was the first one that reacted like that, and it actually worked in his favor.
Yeah.
But usually, everybody who's been accused, they always say, "Don't say nothing." I mean, I get why he did it.
Oh, it didn't work for me. I don't stop.
I mean,
I don't know, dog.
They just gonna keep shooting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you try to defend every one of them, after a while, like if you never say anything, I feel like sometimes it just quietly goes away. But once you start responding, now you're going to get into a back and forth, and you're bringing more attention to it.
You respond because there's actual facts there, and because he knows this girl, and because he has texts, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he got to get in front of it, man, because it's real.
I would have probably responded.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a real thing that's happening, and there's so much. She has so much. Like,
so much.
You know what I mean? Like that's where, as somebody as a prominent figure, as big of a year that he's had, that year was, the podcast was 2-3 years old. Like, so he's been dealing with her for 2-3 years ago. You got to do better, man. You got to know better. Right. Like, also, you can't get caught slipping like that when you're that big.
Also, offering the $10 million says guilt. I mean, like,
nah. Here you go, going back to church to find a good girl. This mother sucker.
But that is public opinion.
That is public opinion.
You want to keep the mouth hush.
It ain't true, but
let's keep it under the rug. So let me offer you this.
Well, Trip, that is not true, because you know what?
Financial play.
One, we would never be able to prove this because it's like proving a negative. It's proving something that we don't know. But there are a lot of prominent people who have settled out of court. You don't know anything about it, right? And every now and then you'll hear about it. Like, I think there was one time they unearthed some Jerry Jones settlements, and they were like, oh, see. But Jerry's like, all right, for 10, 20, 30, 50 years, you didn't know that, and you're not supposed to be able to do that. So guilt doesn't mean settlement. But what happened in this one was interesting is, did he offer her 10? Because if you notice, peep this, he had a different set of lawyers, and then he switched his lawyer, and then all of a sudden the $100 million comes out and the lawsuit comes out, and then he attacks. So a different game plan, it looks like, whatever that may be. But the lawyer preemptively said that he tried to settle for 10 or tens of millions. Whoever says that, because of the court of public opinion, is going to think you guilty. Yep. So what I'm thinking is, maybe he didn't offer it, and that's why they never settled. Maybe that was her offer, and he was debating it, and finally she either caught wind of the $100 million, or two, she was like, dog, it's been 2 months. You ain't going to do it? Forget it. I'm about to file. And something like that. So I don't know if Shannon said, here's 10, and she said no, because make sense of that. Why would you say no to 10 to go fight for 50, and you probably don't even get that?
Well, but Shannon's lawyer said they offered 10.
Shannon's lawyers.
Lanny Davis quoted, we offered
His new
10
lawyer,
million.
or the old
Yeah,
lawyer?
no, the new lawyer.
The
Yeah,
new lawyer
I
said
don't
that.
think the word offered was in there.
Oh, it was in there.
Okay,
It was in there.
It could have been.
And the reason I know that is because my lawyer friends right off the bat were like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up and I read the quote from his lawyer. I was like, no, his lawyer says we offered 10 million.
But he didn't say we because he wasn't the lawyer that offered it. He's the second lawyer. Lanny's the second one. He said, I wasn't in those settlement talks, but there was conversation of 10 and tens of millions. See, peep the language here.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't there, but I heard tens because that slants it to say, man, he offered her that. Guilty, but he offered her that. He trying to get rid of this. And they didn't accept it, which makes me think it wasn't really offered. Who walking away from 10 on OnlyFans when to go fight the good fight for 50?
She's not gonna get no 50.
Yeah, I don't think she
Might
can
not
get-
even win. It's up in the air.
I think she fought. I think she didn't take the 10 because she knew how much she had on him with the conversation. And if there is a sex tape that allegedly there is, that Shannon came out and said there is,
But you don't win in court off a sex tape.
it's not.
that's-
But I'm
it was
just saying
consensual.
that she knew she could get more if she has more ammo in the tank. If the only thing that we've seen is these text messages and the phone conversation or whatever, if that's it, but Shannon came out and said there's a sex tape.
But that ain't a crime, the sex tape. So I think
It's true,
I
but
think-
what's on
But
that tape?
it's going to make him look different.
Bro,
And
what's
he
on
already
that
has
tape?
admitted
It's
that.
What's on that tape?
Oh, yeah,
It's the
of course.
optics.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
optics,
optics.
with the text messages and the alleged tape. So it's a whole lot of red flags.
Don't
out there.
forget who you are. When Ray Rice and everything was written and in text about what he did, we had one reaction, and then we saw that video.
Right.
Even with Diddy, it was like you heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Then you saw that video.
You're like, oh,
like that
shit.
video. Yeah.
And see, what I think Shannon messed up is he tried to take the Jay-Z route, where Jay-Z responded, but left it at that. He just gave a public response,
Yeah.
and you never heard nothing else from him. Shannon's doing the back and forth thing, and I think that's also what played into the ESPN situation, because had he not said anything or just gave a basic response and let it go to court, nobody's really talking about it. But because he's doing the back and forth with her online, it's drawing more attention. The more people go back, everybody's sitting there
Well,
watching.
help me. I think Jay-Z did go back for it. He put out the first one. He was like, this is BS and BS.
And
Then he
the
came
lawyer,
out.
The lawyer said something after.
Yeah, and then from his team. So then they were like, and then he was like, now we're going to sue you for defamation, and this better go away and get
But
dismissed.
those are legal responses.
Okay.
But Shannon's it was not a legal response. It's like
Nah.
a tit for tat.
Yeah, but Jay-Z actually did it too. He actually filed defamation.
Yeah.
So that's how you knew he was serious.
He was coming
But that's
at
what the dude Lanny, that's what he said they're going to do too.
Gonna.
See, once again,
But
we
when
got
Jay-Z first said it, he hadn't did it yet either.
Yeah, but they went ahead and did it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got to give him that same.
That shit takes about an hour.
True.
It takes no time.
Again, I say that the reason he's going tit for tat and he's actually trying to get in front of because he actually was in like a relationship with this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a real thing.
personal.
It's personal. Like, which again, my point. She's 19. Like, come on, dude. 23 now, but he was 19 when he met
19
her.
then.
Like, come on.
Don't act like you haven't dated a 19-year-old when you were 19.
When I was 19, yes. When I was 19, absolutely.
You look at me like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
They're supposed to date 19 at that age. Now you do other things.
And listen,
but
it's not
dating?
about it's not about
That's
him
not
dating
even
younger.
true.
It's
Yeah.
not about him dating younger.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Don't-
It's
I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it, but
It's like
as
you
you
do
get to a
what-
certain
It
age.
comes with a set of circumstances.
It comes with a set of
You gotta know what you're
circumstances
getting
that
into.
you
You know
have
what you're getting
to
into.
know what you working with, man. Come on. Like, come on. Like,
Shannon is the same person who said he's never even sent an email. You know, that's why he's getting caught with this now. She's from the technology era. She probably got all types of stuff on him, and he don't even know what's going on.
I mean, if you
It's
hear the
all
phone
bad.
call, you like, bruh.
It's like, what you doing? But that's why I say you shouldn't be.
I got a headache even hearing that 20-year-old. I was like,
Dog.
I'm dealing with this.
Hey, I don't want to get choked, Shannon. First of all,
You can hear the setup.
you can hear all the
I
setups.
felt bad for
It
him.
was in
Like,
slow
damn, you
motion.
don't even see what's happening to you.
That setup was in slow motion.
Yeah. All right, and we having different conversations. So one is like the age conversation, which gets you to getting set up because you got to know what you're getting into, right? You got to know what defense is on the field if you're going to play. But that's not even the felony here in our minds, like the most egregious part. It's also, dog, you're a prominent figure laying yourself butt naked emotionally through text, through video, which, okay, that comes with another set of circumstances and penalties. But I think the worst part of it all is that I haven't met anybody who's read this, heard this, and thought that Shannon is really guilty of this. Most people, our responses are like, dog, all the ancillary things. Like, dog, you got caught up. She gonna get paid because she got you trapped, even though you didn't do what. You got finessed. And that you didn't even do it, and that's gonna be the worst part about it. I'm looking at it from that perspective.
Well, the trick bag of the whole thing is no matter what they did previous, no matter what the relationship was, her ace in the hole is saying, when I say no, that means no.
Shannon.
That's why she sent that text
message. And
no
wrote Shannon. Don't clip this off and act like I'm talking about Tripp. or Marcellus. This is Shannon.
Shannon.
Real quick, here's where he messed up, though, because when she sent that text, he should have said, I don't know what you talking about.
Yeah.
Then call her.
Yeah, liar.
What he said was, call me. So it was like, you ain't even respond to it.
Yeah.
So now you left that in the air for anybody to assume, like, oh, you might have did it. That's why you said call me.
Yeah. I had a homie that I work with. He's a broadcaster, so I ain't going to say his name. And he used to always call me. And y'all know me. I don't like talking on the phone. So I was like, we ain't going to be too cool, dog. Because, like, every time you call me, I send you the voicemail, bro. And then I see you when I see you. And then he be like, yo, and then I text him and he don't write back. I was like, well, I see you I see you at work, mama. But he was always saying, I was like, dog, why you don't text anything? I was like, you don't even text what's up. He's like, I don't need no receipts, no records of nothing. I don't know how you going to twist it. I said, me? He's like, y'all. And I was like, damn. So I don't go to that point. I don't think anybody does. But if you going to veer off of conventional norms, which is power dynamic, OnlyFans, 19, like you just, that's a trifecta right there. You can't have these type of receipts out there. And I just don't know how he even thought to.
Especially talking about, I'm going to make it so no other man's going to want you.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying some wild shit.
Yeah.
And
comfortable. The
lady who filed the exact same thing against him 10, 15 years previous had the same experience with Shannon. And that's going to.
She got paid.
No, I don't think she did.
No. I'm saying I feel like the lawyers did their research and saw that suit was out there before, and then she dropped it.
Yeah, she
and
did.
They're like, oh, we're gonna
rehash that.
A little something
that's a real game.
Get her to come back because now it strengthens our case.
That's a real game. They play that game. Yeah, it's look. Once you have one out there, and this is why people settle, Tripp, because they don't want one out there that's going to be a blueprint for others. It's just all I need is to show association with him. All I need is to have something that's private with him. Right? Like I text him and then he said, oh, okay, I'll see you later. And then I could say, yes. Then he came over and he did all this. And then he was like, I'll see you later. Like, no, I'll see you at the club next time or whatever. You know, like I'm not coming over to your house. That's how you can play these kind of things. And
that's what happened with Diddy.
Yeah.
He didn't settle the first one. So then it was just a domino effect. Everybody started dropping suits on him.
Deshaun Watson, same lawyer, Tony Busby that came at him. First settlement offer was, don't quote me, I think it was $30,000. $30,000. He got more doing push-ups at an off-season workout. And he was like, nope, I'm protecting my name and you lying. Now, I remember this because behind the scenes, his agent and all them people were kind of like discussing it. You know, I'm in the inner circle, so I'm kind of hearing a little more than I should. And I was like, I don't know Deshaun. I don't know y'all like that. But let me just say one thing. Give her $30,000. Because once that first domino fall, who used to watch That's Incredible? Anybody? You remember that? And boy, the finale on the show would be the dominoes. Yeah. And they would go through the whole room for like 5 minutes, man. And that's what seemed like was happening in that situation.
Although when I first heard Tony Busby's name and Shannon Sharpe's, I was like, bullshit.
Really?
When I first heard his name.
Yeah. Why?
Because I think he lost a lot of credibility with the whole Jay-Z thing and like him losing his license in New York and all of that. Like I think he lost credibility. So it's almost blatant that he is the guy that's going to come after prominent black figures, right? So that was my initial thought. And then I heard seen all the rest of the stuff that Shannon they actually had, and I was just like, well,
yeah,
he's just kind of doing his job at that point.
Yeah,
She
did pick the wrong lawyer.
She did pick the wrong lawyer.
She picked the wrong lawyer. Because he has, just like you said, he has some
recently, where it's like, because I didn't even realize Deshaun Watson, that was even him. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But,
and then also the Travis Scott situation. Like, here's what I thought initially when it was Tony Busby. I was like, this is going to throw people off because they're going to see Tony Busby. They're going to think of Jay-Z and how Jay-Z undressed him like you did. But then I started thinking, I was like, there's no way all these people are running into this. Think about all the lawyers in the country. And it's him every time, kind of like Gloria Allred. Like, same thing, right?
And that's who she should have gone to.
Right. Okay, so they all have their own credibility. But you got to think, and this is not top layer, and I knew it was going to throw people off. I was like, but you got to know that Tony Busby must be a dude if they keep going to him. But it's almost like he was undefeated and lost one game by 40 to Jay-Z. But you know who he has sued and won against and beat? Amazon. BP Oil, like his day-to-day is trillion-dollar companies. And it ain't black people. He got, like, I think I saw on his list because I went through it. I was like, let me see who he got. He got Deshaun, he got Travis Scott, Jay-Z attempt. And I was like, this whole, like, he go after black prominent figures, I thought it was weak on Shannon's part because you're trying to paint this lawyer who is major, who wins most of his cases that ain't even black, and then you're going to say, oh, but he coming after me. I think that makes you look like, why would he come after you? What you got to hide or what you have to offer compared to some of his real big cases?
I think that's actually good for Shannon to do that because, again, you playing into public opinion.
Yeah.
So most people, when they look at Shannon, they have one mindset, and now you have this guy who just went at it with Jay-Z and lost, saying, look, he just likes to go after the black guys, the popular guys, the ones who are making money and this and that.
Guys meaning you're number 2 to the court of public opinion, basically.
Yeah, but
because most people forgot about Deshaun. Nobody even thought about Travis Scott and all that stuff.
But you know why we know about them now? Because Shannon said something like that.
Yeah.
So then it makes you look up, well, who else has he gone after?
Yeah.
And then you look at that list and like it makes Shannon sound more legit.
How though? Because he went after Jay-Z and Jay-Z smoked him. That means Jay-Z's case was legit.
But it's not about who you won against, is who you went after.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's going after me because of this. Doesn't mean you're gonna beat everybody, but his attempt is I'm always going after the black athlete or whatever prominent figure.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know what I'm thinking is way too deep, and most people ain't even gonna go there. They ain't gonna care, or they just don't think it matters. But I'm thinking that's gonna backfire. Because one, if you're Busby, you're like, if you're gonna run that route, we got that route covered. Because all I got to do is show my resume and my evidence, and then in the court, they don't want to hear that. Oh, he came after you for that, because they're gonna know how prominent he really is, because he's gonna have to state that. But I know in the court of public opinion right now, it's the best play you saying, even though
if it's a jury trial. You got to put that out there for public opinion because you got to sway the jury.
Yeah. You still living in an OJ case. I think people don't got hip to that.
It happens all the time.
We ain't let you play that at black angle no more.
Somebody just got off of that. I'm going to think of who it was, but literally somebody just played into that and
got it. Yeah. I mean, look, when you're desperate, you got to do something. Who has a stronger case? Let's go there. Let's go around the room. Who has a stronger case? Her or Shannon? Because she still got a video that is making us imagine how bad this can get, not knowing the reality of it. Versus Shannon, I don't want to say he emptied the clip, but don't you come out hot? And if that's all you got, hearing her say, I don't want to get choked, versus you saying she does want to get choked, still hearing her beats just reading it. Because it's a different sense. Huh?
I think Shannon got the stronger case.
Okay.
Because also what he said when they put out that audio, he said, we've asked them for the full video, full clip, and they won't send it. So which is not true. Rule 34 Nevada law says if you ask, you don't get it, then you can get the case dismissed. See, these are little things. I'm just going by what he's saying. I didn't look that deep into the rules. Stop. But according to him, that's what he was saying. Like, y'all are putting out edited clips.
But they ain't even put it out yet.
Well,
Or the
yeah,
audio.
No, we
The
heard.
audio.
Yeah, we
He
heard
said it
some.
was.
He said the
10
video.
He said it was 10 whole minutes.
10 whole minutes.
Right,
And
and we only heard
gave
snippets.
us a
They
little
put
bit,
snippets
yeah.
of it out.
Yeah. They trying to tell you how to put out your music video, and you like, look, I'm gonna put out the part of the song I like. You just watch it.
The part that will sway public opinion.
Yeah.
That's what they put. Oh,
Shannon's
the
in trouble, man.
But yeah, I'm about to say that.
He in trouble because of himself.
That don't sound like, oh, be nice to me
Shannon
now.
is in trouble, bro.
Tell me.
Her case is way stronger because the second she says no has to be abided by.
Yeah.
No matter what else
Yes,
happened,
but no.
it is cut and
What was
dropped.
that?
Oh boy.
I said yes.
Okay,
but
cut.
No.
What?
I had
Yes, but no.
Because no, I know. My initial thing was gonna be no, but I know the optics of that would have sounded crazy. That's why I said yes, but no. Because yes, if she says no, that means no. But if he can prove right after that, like, hey, this is just how we interact, because she's in the dominatrix and all of that. So if he can prove this is part of the play that we do, and then it shows that after that, they're still doing it. I mean, there's footage
I know
of
what
all
you're
of this.
saying. I know what you're saying.
Well,
I ain't trying to gaslight
That
you.
weakens her
nuance to it.
case.
No, I know. I'm not
There's
gaslighting you.
nuance with the average Joe who's just listening to this stuff. I don't think they're gonna go that deep with it.
Busby's racist because he goes after black figures. It's gonna be the same one saying she said no.
Right. That's
She
what
said
said.
no.
That's the same wavelength.
I think that there is some kind of role playing that's happening, that the way they're talking and all that. There is that type of thing that's happening. So that could be part of their history, and that happened. So he's twisted and saying, yeah, you've liked this.
Yeah.
And who knows how far it went, what, all the optics are of the video.
And people don't care about them details enough.
People don't care about the details, but there is that. There is the role play. There is the kinky, whatever they were into. That's definitely a part of it.
That's it.
So
I know. See, it's two different worlds, and if we're gonna be honest,
Yeah.
let's talk about both of those worlds. There's a world where if there's a male juror and a female, or our male juror sitting there like, yeah, I've heard someone say no before. And you say, come on, and then she said yeah, or come on, and she said no, and then it was like, all right, well, it's a no. And then there's a female that's like, I said no, and then later on I changed my mind, and then we messed around. Like, if we're gonna keep it real, the problem is you can't say that publicly for your case, and therefore it's not gonna be ammunition for really either side. But that is reality.
what makes it consensual almost is that she has text talking about she want his baby and all of that, right? So that's
baby
like
gravy, the black baby gravy.
big black baby. Like,
black
first of
baby.
all, put that, like, come on, like,
First of all,
black babies.
if you come at me like I'm colored, talking about some black baby gravy, I'm immediately calling this off.
Right.
Like I don't trust none of this.
So that's
why
when
he
I
can't
was
mess
reading
with the
that. I'm like, he
19-year-old.
was in a relationship
Well,
with
get
this
it.
girl.
Right,
dog.
see,
Like,
here's
that
what
was his chick. Like, he was in a
So
relationship
was he a
with her.
slave? What you talking about?
I don't know
It's
about
like
that.
Kendrick said, he a freaky ass 69,
Oh, yeah.
69
guy.
guy.
like I don't get off on you going back to slavery in my mind. Like, I mean, I'm not him either. But
Don't call me Buck.
yeah. Like, why you want this black
She ain't
baby?
even old enough to know what that means.
Right. But
Yeah,
see,
she didn't.
What she's saying is that, yeah, they did have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
But she had cut that off. And if you think about it, one scenario could have been that he didn't want to let it go, and that he was trying to bring back that excitement that they always had with each other, and he's
ain't
saying
with
that
that.
kind of shit.
Dude,
Think
he's
about-
Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, but right, but
Nah.
he's
That's who we see him as. That doesn't mean who he sees himself
Exactly.
as. I've been around too many stars who got low, whether it's self-esteem or low sense of self-awareness.
I understand
Well,
that.
I've
plus-
been there.
plus
I
he's
know.
not-
You don't know who you are, dog.
Plus,
I
he's not
understand
used to
that.
getting
I know that.
rejected.
Yeah, I understand that,
He's
but-
not used to somebody saying no to him.
I understand that too, but there's also like,
Well, you
come on,
understand
man.
then, mother.
He could have, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't buy into that scenario.
Okay, here's the scenario.
I don't buy into that he was trying to. I don't buy into that he was trying to, like.
I don't know.
I think
People's egos are real fragile,
Especially us men
And when
and
somebody,
powerful men.
when somebody 20, what is she, 21 now or whatever,
23, I think.
walking
23.
away from him, he might be like, "Oh shit, I got to keep it. Let me do whatever I need to
And
do."
she's probably checking all his little kink boxes too. So
Oh,
he's good.
hell
That's
yeah.
why he's like,
That
I
one
got-
picture, I was like, before I was like, she mid. I was like, but look, I ain't the finest no more, but I used to be. But that's what I can say. But then I saw that one, I said, oh, that gets it. Oh, that gets you 50 million.
25 a check.
25 a cheek.
I take 10 off top. I'm getting 100 over here, give it 10 off top. I was like, whoa. First off, I mean, no lie, I was like, Come on, shit, Shannon, shit, her, yeah. Oh boy.
I think the general public though thinks like how we think, and it's like this is a finesse move. I think that's what I say. I don't think her case is that strong, regardless of what she have. I think everybody looks at it like, oh, she's just getting over.
No, court is not about innocence or guilt. It's about what you can prove. And she can prove that this is not right. And I got a no means no with you calling me trying to make me feel better. That's already a smoking gun. You got another smoking gun of a video that we haven't seen so bad that he is trying to get in front of it. We know that's not good, but let me give you this short and y'all respond to this.
Her case is stronger.
Her case is stronger. This is why. Because she was in love with this dude, and he was just Shannon Sharping her. And then that leaked audio of him on with Michelle Instagram Live, which was a ploy. I've said this, I'm gonna keep saying it. You can't get to Instagram Live easily. You got to be on purpose with intention to get to that point, right? So that, and then the sex pills and all that, like he did it for a commercial, whatever. But she was like, oh, I thought we were real. Whether she faking it or not, she thought it was something else. And then I swear, she went in her dome, she said, let me get this dude because he embarrassed me. And what we always say about a woman who gets cheated on.
Scorned woman.
Don't embarrass me.
They always say, don't embarrass me. Exactly. I don't want you to cheat, but I get it. You are who you are. But don't you embarrass me. So when she got embarrassed, I don't know her little friend group, the people she told she moved to Vegas to see them and hang with them, somehow she felt scorned. And then it was nothing but receipts. And them receipts are CVS long. Like it's CVS long, $2 off.
And she about to get the extra bucks.
Yeah, yeah. And this is me saying this.
CVS receipts long.
CVS long. Without, and I'm saying this without me thinking he is guilty. And look, that's conjecture, but I don't think he did anything like she's a legend. I think she won in the court of proof and her having all of these receipts.
I agree with you that's how court is supposed to work. But these jurors are still humans. And a lot of time the human factor overrides what the law says you're supposed to do. Like they say, if there's any benefit of the doubt, you're supposed to say not guilty.
But this is not that. Because this is about civil.
This is
court.
civil.
Well, I know. Civil,
okay. And criminal, that's right.
Yeah, it's more
doubt.
burden of proof with
Here
criminal.
is like preponderance of evidence.
Yeah.
So basically, 51%. Think about it right now. Right now where you are. 100%. Are you with Shannon? Nope. 100% with her? No. Are you 51 with her? Like, no means no, Shannon. Call me later.
He settles, though. It doesn't even go to court.
Oh, no. You got to go to court now.
He can't settle now. It's too late. Now.
He got to get his rep back. He got to pay for that. He got to go through the whole process.
It's too late.
That's behind us, bro. Yeah. If he settles right now, we like,
now
shit.
you look guilty.
We already know that there's something that happened. So him settling now is like, all right, I get it.
I don't think
get it over with.
No, if you settle now, you look guilty.
You look guilty.
You
and
did all of this.
But I don't even care about looking guilty.
He has to settle.
I don't think she accepts it.
He has to settle.
He has to settle.
And it's going to be a humongous number.
I'm not settling.
It's going to be
has to settle.
because he can't.
Especially he can't get deposed.
He can't open it up to full discovery.
We don't want to see that video.
Exactly. We don't want to see the video.
She gonna say May 1st. Video drops like old MTV, Michael Jackson Thriller.
Settle, get it over with. Get back on your podcast and keep working.
That's right. And he can't afford
get it over with.
The risk
you
of
can't
punitive
go through that.
damages.
It's not that deep. We already know there's something.
Hold on, but she can ask for 50. Let me just say this.
Nah.
I don't know if that 100 is still there. Let's be real. And then so 50. Do you got the 50? 50 net. 50 sitting there, liquid assets? Nero, please. So
forget the
now
reputation.
She's like, I don't even want 50 to settle this. It's going to be whatever I want it to be. Come on, bro.
She wouldn't get that number.
I know.
She wouldn't get that
But if
number.
you settle.
How do you
if
know
you
that?
settle that, you got to settle where y'all both
You got to settle where she agrees.
I don't think so. But I mean, I guess if he had to settle at that number, then yes, try to fight it. But
I'm
like,
not
I still feel like you should settle. If it's 20, settle. If he offered her 10, she didn't take that. If you can settle at 20, settle and move on.
Now, to me,
if the $100 million deal is on the table, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, if you don't have 20, whatever that is, kind of work through that. But if that deal's on the table, she didn't take 10, and you can give her 20 to settle to move on.
Yeah.
Settle.
Look, we talking about Shannon played in the 90s, 80s, maybe late 80s, but definitely 90s, right?
Yeah.
In the early 2000s. Remember when the Cat Williams video broke and went crazy, the most watched video on YouTube ever? You know what the headlines were? Shannon Sharpe on one video makes more than he made in his whole career.
Yeah.
Right. Now, that ain't including the podcast,
Yeah.
other stuff,
Yeah.
but one video.
Yeah.
That ain't 50. Net.
Right.
Man, look, this girl, they passed that point of no return. I don't know. I really don't believe 10 was offered and she said no. I think 10 was being conversed. I don't think 10 was accepted on either side. Therefore, I think Busby finally said enough's enough. That's why would you change lawyers in the middle? It's a lot of little stuff. If you're really picking up on it, you're like, yo, this thing is
His
tricky.
lawyers might have told him to settle, and he was like, no.
Ooh,
Because
there
he's
we
always
go.
the same guy. If you watch the
There we go.
nightcap and that, he don't like spending money on stuff. So if the lawyer's like, hey, we can make this go away for $10 million, and he's like, nah, I'm being cheap. I don't want to give her that much money. And the lawyer's like, all right, well,
And then it
I'm
drops.
gonna step away from
and
this.
then he got to move on because they like, we told you, and then they got that bad blood or that this dissension. Ooh, that's an angle right there.
That's probably what happened.
I don't see how he gets out of this. I mean, he's about to. He's gonna endure a whole lot of pain. That checkbook is gonna get hit.
Well, the good thing is he still has his own platform, so he's not. It's not like
Yeah.
the ESPN thing. Honestly, in my opinion, him being on ESPN didn't really do much for him. He was hot before ESPN, and he was hot off of his own thing.
But
So
they
all you
say
gotta do is keep doing
reportedly
that.
his ESPN deal was like 6.5 a year.
Right.
That does something for
No,
you.
it does. But he was making millions off of his own.
No,
brand,
yeah.
too.
But one, he had a commercial that always advertised for his independent, like Stephen A. does. But then Stephen A.'s making 20, he making 6, if that's true. Like and for 2 days a week.
That's my point. I think that if he gets
that
in
is
front
some
of
good
it
money, good.
and settles, I think he can get back on his podcast. I also think he could go back on ESPN.
Well, the podcast ain't stopping.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. I also think he could go back to ESPN. But if he
It's a
goes
wrap
through
for that.
court, I don't think it's
If
a
he
wrap.
settles, he's not going back to ESPN because I think too much has come out at this point to
I
now
think
do
he
that.
could is my point. If he goes through,
Nah.
Too
Well,
much.
how does he?
It's too much Snow
The
White
only
to
way he
sell.
goes to ESPN now is if he gets found
Too much Snow White
not
left.
guilty. If she loses, then I think that door opens back for him.
That's why he got to fight it. You
got to.
can't hide how you won this one.
Yeah.
This can't be, oh, I didn't watch the game. What was the score? I got to see every play because right now, my mind, reality, and imagination shows me too much to bring you in if I'm Disney.
see, I think from a business perspective. If
Oh, we
I
don't?
know-
We don't?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. if there is evidence, just like you said, there's been so many cases that have been settled. That doesn't mean guilt. That's not an admission to guilt.
No, it's not.
Right.
You
And
know
that's
I'm
what
saying?
he's going to have to
Thank
do
him.
and then say, Daz. I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's going to have to say, I settled it because I was in a position where I didn't feel like I could defend myself.
And guess
exactly
what?
right.
When someone knows that's where you're coming from, that's exactly how they attack you. I think Michael Irvin said it best. He said, it's one thing to battle someone, and it's another thing to beat somebody. He said, you battle somebody when they are trying their best and you beat them. He said, you beat them when not only did they try their best, they thought they won, and then you took it from them. This one, I think that Shannon's like, I'm going to settle.
But do you fight a battle you know you can't win?
Wait, didn't Michael Irvin win his?
Yeah, he won
Yeah.
his.
And ESPN let him go as soon as the report came out, and then he ended up winning.
But do you fight a battle you know you can't win?
No, but then that's why you should have
but you
settled
can win.
before.
How can he win when there's all this ammo out there and it's like
Daz, that's
You
your
win
point of
by
view. Your
her
point of
getting
view is you
proven
don't
wrong.
think he can win. He thinks he can't.
Right.
That's why he's not going to settle. Shannon thinks he can win. He's
Yeah, we
all on the
passed.
offensive
I think
right
we're
now.
past the point of no return to settle because one, you already had this opportunity, you didn't do it. It was 6 weeks, they said at least. Then two, we're here now, and now you want to go back there. Oh, what does Fat Joe say? The price, today's price. Yesterday's price.
It's not today's price.
It's not today's price.
Yeah.
And that you didn't want to pay yesterday's price. You're going to pay today's price, and you may, but then is the $100 million still there? We already saw some of the sponsors dropping off, covered up, etc. ESPN is not going to make any guarantees on record. Like, be real. Like, why would they?
And how does the podcast survive with no sponsors?
Well, I think he still has some.
You can have a time lapse and get back to that, but how does it survive in spirit? I think it's more of like, if you watch a sanitized Shannon now with Ocho, you already got used to one dynamic. Does that make it suffer?
That's when you got to come on and just keep it real, though. Like, he has to, what we all know happened, he needs to come out and say that. Like,
he need to play the video. He need to put the video out.
Yeah. His fan base is males.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it. He's trying to keep it real.
Yeah, that's true.
He said, I want to be open, transparent, honest. I got nothing to hide.
That's true.
His fan base is predominantly male. I don't
and
think
we get it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect Nightcap and none of that. Because everybody's like,
come on,
we know what this is.
We know what this is.
It can happen to any one of us.
Yo, yeah. Well,
so it's like,
what you mean?
Yeah, it's happened to some of us.
Oh boy. And the biggest difference between mine and his is, other than the time, like, 31 years ago, which is crazy. And so there's like, man, literally, the lady's like, he didn't do anything wrong and all that stuff 31 years ago, but then it's like, see, my school in Columbia. So I got somebody else in this, right? So you can see, coming after me, I don't live 3 careers since then. Like, I don't went to the league, I don't have broadcasting. If it was just a straight my level money grab, I would have been heard of this. It was a Columbia money grab in that. Shannon's by himself. Like, ESPN ain't a defendant. The volume, nobody. It's like, right? And so Jay-Z is big enough to be his own entity, but he could attack it. But think about it, like the other situations, there's always some kind of like an attachment. Like with Diddy, it wasn't just Diddy. It was like all the stuff he touched and that's a different animal. So Shannon fighting a whole different fight than everybody else.
But they do have a personal relationship because they were together. So I think that works in his favor. Because it's different if it's a chick you just met randomly and y'all had something going on. But if you're saying we were together, then I think it dispels some of the stuff she's saying. They were in a relationship.
I mean, from reading the text, they were in a relationship.
He don't want to see, and I know day one he didn't want to say, "Yo, I was booed up with the OnlyFans."
That's what I'm saying.
But bruh,
19-year-old.
That 19-year-old.
Hey, bruh.
That's crazy.
And then the ski slopes, and like, but she's Spanish, like she's from Spain.
Does that matter? What that mean? That's still 19.
Oh no, I'm saying she not white. They trying to kill her because they like she white. I'm like, she not really
so
white.
19 is okay.
Oh no.
Clarify yourself, Marcellus.
A Billie Jean. No, I like they killed him because, like, they killed him for that too. Like the age is obvious.
It's women killing him for that. Guys are like,
nah.
No, guys killing him.
No, guys are joking.
I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm certainly judging you. I got a boy right now that's dating 30-years-olds, and I'm killing them. Cause I'm like, don't bring her around me. You already know. We already know who it is, right? But I'm like, dog, I loved you more when you had age appropriate. Because when you bring them around, no lie, and this is not even judgment, this is reality. They be talking about some dumb shit. I'll be like, dog,
Can't do it.
they'll talk about nothing.
They be like this, like literally, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I'm like, girl, if you don't get off Instagram and say hello to me, she don't even want to speak. She's like, so what y'all doing later? I'm like, what?
Dude, my daughters are 19.
Yeah.
I can't even. I mean, what the hell do you have
the
ever to talk about with a 19-year-old?
Yeah, say that again, brother.
I mean, it makes no sense.
My daughter's 26, and look, she got a good top layer. Like, she's real smart, good. Man, I give her about 10 minutes. Like, baby, look, I'm 2 different depth levels. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she be like, Dad, you don't think that? I'm like, no one does.
I don't like Minecraft.
All right, let's get a
the
little.
world is not flat.
Right. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Me and Kyrie.
Oh, here
dinosaurs.
You go. Here you go.
All right. Speaking of what I don't like, Shadeur Sanders. Let's just say 31 plus, almost 32 teams. Cleveland finally saved the day. Didn't like Shadeur Sanders. All right. This was the story of the draft. Like, people were just like, I mean, everywhere I went, I was at the track meet watching my son run, and a dude, I got it on camera, he literally walks up, he's like, man, what they doing to Shadeur? I was like, man, what these dudes doing to my son on this track right now? He ain't in front. But the point is, everywhere you went, and I don't know if it was the black magnet, like, brother, come on, like, come on. And I was like, what do you mean, come on? Like, y'all been watching these drafts? Some cats fall, some cats rise. Your first response to Shadeur dropping in the draft?
Man, you know, I thought it was a slight against Deion, right? That was my initial thought. I'm like, Deion has given his life to the game. He's been a stand-up dude. You know, he was in cahoots with the NFL. Like, he's had great relationships, great coach, great father, like all of the things. So I felt like it was a slight towards him to do his son like that, right? Now, if there were a draft where they weren't a lot of quarterbacks coming out, but you don't pick 5. There weren't 5 quarterbacks better than Shadeur in that draft. So that is where I was like, something ain't right. And yeah, it was tough to watch, man. I didn't think he deserved it. I thought if there were Cam Ward going before him, I understand that. Maybe one other, but like there weren't 5 quarterbacks that were better than Shadeur in that draft.
It just reminded me of why I stopped watching NFL for years and years and years. That was some bullshit. That was pure bullshit. It was collusion, and there's no way around that. He completed damn near 80% of his passes, 4,000 plus yards with a shitty line, stood in the pocket. If his last name was Manning or Aikman or anything else.
Oh, why'd you have to pick the white last name?
Yeah! Because
This plays into that.
because it
Cam Ward, #1 pick is what?
yeah, but it didn't happen to Cam Ward. But it didn't happen to Cam Ward.
Picked white.
So, right, I'm not saying because I'm black. I'm saying they were sending him a message.
Who him? Who's the him?
Black
Deion
and
or
successful is
all of them?
It was
The
it
whole-
was completely
the whole-
disrespectful, man. It was disrespectful to the Sanders family, definitely, especially with the prank. I'm not gonna go there right now. You got that coming up.
Oh, okay.
But
I see you preparing trip.
yeah,
Hell
but
yeah.
it was a hit in the mouth, man, because that guy has talent. You already heard Trump. He put out a statement. Hey, he said his daddy was great at this sport. How the hell you not gonna draft
We
this
don't need
guy?
Trump to tell us that.
Hey,
He trying to pull at my heart. He trying to hit me where it hurt.
he knows something. He knows something, man. But and he
He know how to get the black vote.
He got his vote.
Public opinion matters.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, look. Trump did sway. Remember when Kaepernick was out there and Trump came out against that, and that Trump can change the winds of a conversation. Obviously. Come on, y'all. Let's stop. Okay, we gotta be objective. This room, huh? Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but he didn't do the combines and all that, and the interviews were bad.
Yeah.
But see, that do cost a minus on his not getting
That's
picked.
on Deion though.
Well,
That's
no.
on Deion.
Ultimately, it's on
Deion
you.
Deion was the agent.
Yeah, but my agent works for me.
Right. So I think Deion, there was a. So
Even if it's my daddy.
Right. I think they did Shadeur dirty. Let me say that first.
Who was they?
The NFL,
Okay.
like the teams. I think they did him dirty. He should have definitely been easy first round pick in my opinion. But Deion being in the league for so long, I think he kind of lacks self-awareness in that moment because they've always talked about for the past year, 2 years of how people hate on them. This is something they
That's
say.
one of their.
So I think him being his agent or representing him was a disservice to him. I get it. That's your son, so you have your best. You want to have his best interests, but you also got to realize that you attaching yourself as the agent. Now there's going to be teams who don't want to deal with you because of you.
You know what's so funny about this? 2 things. Please let me say both. One, attaching yourself doesn't matter if you got the goods.
I ain't finished cooking, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Finish
just
cooking.
saying. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay. Because LeVar Ball was LeVar Ball. I mean, it was ugly. I used to have to interview him, and he the homie from like way back, went to school with his brothers, knew the family, all this, and I was like, they are coming at your head. It's all right. And one thing he used to always say that always got lost is he's like, I'm just gonna get my boys in position, then they gone. And he never said, I'm so controlling that I'm going to be their agent, I'm about to do all this stuff. He was just like, I'm gonna get them there, and then they gonna go. You
going into what I was saying.
number 2 draft pick, despite being all in and all about this, like Deion, and a number 3 draft pick, and then another kid who's now a rap star or something. But the point is, we can't say that it's on Deion for being too involved because if you got the guy, we gonna deal with it. The old saying is, we'll deal with what you want if you got what we need. They didn't need Shadeur. That's part 1. Part 2 is, do y'all know who Delaney Walker is? Used to play tight end. Anyway, Delaney Walker 3 months ago went on Barstool Sports on a podcast, the Bussin' Boys, I think that's what it's called, big time podcast, and said Shadeur is going 5th round, and made $1,000 bet. Now he's a black former tight end in the NFL. He said he's going 5th round. He gave all his reasons. I ain't gonna bore you, but the point is they made $1,000 bet. He was dead right. No one watched the mock drafts that were saying Shadeur, top of the draft. Shadeur, mid first round, late first round, not even in the first round. All of this is on record if you could Google it right now, before the draft. And then here's the worst part. Because he's a black quarterback, because he's Deion's son, nobody wanted to be the one to take the heat and be like, I hate to tell you this, but your son ain't going where you think he is, because everybody got scared of the backlash. So I literally was there. The draft started. I was at this dinner in Austin, and they were like, so where's Shadeur go? I said, he doesn't go today. What? And I mean, I'm the only black guy there. What? They like, oh, what? Why? And they argued me to death. I said, just watch. And he ain't go. And I was like, I wasn't rooting for him. I was like, I'm trying to tell y'all ain't keeping up with this. Y'all stuck in narrative.
So I just want to jump back in there.
Because
I never said that Deion was too involved. I said he lacked self-awareness. Because in that same situation, like I've heard Deion publicly say, oh, I'm not even going to let him interview for certain teams. I'm not going to let him go to certain teams because I know how those teams function. I'm on the inside. I've been doing this for 30 years. So if you was an agent, you would play that a little differently. Even if you thought that, I don't think you say that
like
publicly.
A legit agent, you say.
Right, yeah. Like a Drew Rosenhaus is not saying that publicly.
Who's Shiloh's new agent?
Right. And as soon as Shiloh signed with him, he got signed.
He got signed.
So I think it's a clear sign that, yes, as Dad says, it was directed at Deion.
That's still a lie. We can't raise
I
our
don't think
kids
so.
like this.
I think a lot of that plays into
No,
it.
because Kobe already told us, if you undeniable, nobody give a fuck who your daddy
Shadeur or
is.
Shiloh?
Huh?
Who's better, Shadeur or Shiloh?
Shadeur.
Right. And as soon as Shiloh got him a regular agent, he got signed immediately.
No, he got signed as an undrafted free agent.
Right. But
everyone gets signed as an undrafted
nobody
free
even thought
agent.
he was going to get drafted.
He wasn't.
Right. Right.
He wasn't.
So it was no. Right,
What?
so I don't even know if he was a legit shot of him making the league.
No,
but he got with Drew Rosenhaus and immediately got signed.
But
Still
that's
hasn't made the
nothing.
league.
He could have got with me and
He
got
got signed,
that.
though.
No, he could have got with me and got that. This is what happens. You got the first 7 rounds. It ain't about your agent, bro. Nobody even know your agent. They ain't calling, hey, who's his agent? They don't care unless
you're
you
a
are
big time agent. They know.
No, unless you're this guy. See, this is what we got to understand. Have you ever been undeniable in anything? Like, you could walk in there butt naked and they still gonna say, we got to deal with what he doing. You ever had a negotiation in your favor? My first negotiation when I left Buffalo to go to San Diego, man, look, I could have did whatever I wanted because they were like, we got to have Wiley. So I didn't act that way, but I knew that. Now, when I left Dallas to go to Jacksonville, what do y'all need? Anybody want something to eat? like, because I knew, to your point of self-awareness. But Shiloh had Deion. No one cared because it was Shiloh. We don't think you're that good. Then it's undrafted. Oh, you got Drew? Drew didn't get you this opportunity. You did because everybody's going to get the undrafted opportunity. Ain't no money into that. But Shadeur, to think that they dropped Shadeur, who they thought, if Deion would represent Cam Ward, you think he wasn't going number 1? He going number 1. You know why?
I think he would have got drafted. I don't know if he'd have been number 1.
Oh man,
I agree with you.
I agree with you,
but I agree with you. But I still don't think that there were 5 quarterbacks better than Shadeur.
Dylan Gabriel is not better than Shadeur.
He's not better than Shadeur.
What does better mean to you though? Define better.
Better football player.
But that's not what you get drafted for. All right, let's do this. Last year,
a better athlete, better football player.
Last year,
who's more accurate?
Who was the number 1 pick?
I don't know who
Was it
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Was he the number 1 player last year watching everybody play? Absolutely not. Okay, let's go to the year before and years before. You could go back to was Patrick Mahomes number 1 pick? Was he the better football player? You can see Nick Bosa in that same draft, et cetera, different draft. The point is they never pick number 1 because you're the best. Travis Hunter was the best football player. Did he go number 1? Nope. So they go by a combo. It's a gumbo of talent, potential, production, personality, character, coachability, and then I get to season it the way I want to. But I don't know why it's this misnomer that we picking. That's why every year they redraft, like imaginary redraft. Like now do the draft. Is Tom Brady pick 199? You know what I mean? Right. Like they get it wrong. So they got it wrong on Shadeur, you're saying. But to say it was rigged getting it wrong, That's where you miss me. You got to be undeniable.
So this is my take. The narrative I've been reading is that, because I wasn't in any of the interviews, obviously, but the GMs didn't like what they heard from him. He bombed the interviews. The teams didn't want him because of that inability to answer whatever questions they had for him, right? So the talent is undeniable. Everyone here is saying talent undeniable, but just
no. His talent is deniable.
Good enough to be drafted. Good enough to be drafted. Not
Everybody's
fifth
good
round,
enough
not
to be
fifth round. Good enough to be
drafted.
a
He just only got 200 and some slots. Like, first of all, we talking about the creme de la creme. All these dudes are like hella good, like first or second team conference. Like you can't get up in here unless you're doing something.
But Shadeur's numbers with no offensive line is crazy.
But see how you doing it? She looked good when it was this time of the day. Like I don't want to hear that.
That's very different because a good O-line can.
His numbers look good.
But he's going to a sorry
that's
team.
what I'm saying.
If you're getting picked high, you're going to a sorry team. Guess what? Our O-line probably sucks too. Why we want you?
That's the point of why you would take him, because this guy put up 4,000 yards with a bad O-line.
No. Let's go deeper to that. He caused a lot of them sacks on himself, and people don't want to give that. Don't want to say that. Look, they compared him to Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, who is more athletic. Let's just be real. Forget the paint
He's not
job.
a better quarterback.
Huh?
I don't think he's a better quarterback, but he's more athletic.
I'm going to
Shadeur's not athletic at all.
I'm going to say it like the way you got to understand it. When plays break down, you got a choice. Do you climb the pocket or do you bail? Shadeur bails. Now, if you're going to bail, beat Mike Vick, go ahead. But if you're going to bail and be Shadeur, they going to come catch you in the NFL. Them pass rushers, that's why he got so many sacks, because he goes backwards and think he got the wheels. He ain't his daddy. Give me that. So he got 90-some sacks. Fine. Jackson Dart already has it built into him. I'm going to climb the pocket. And I'm more athletic. So what happens is when you get into the NFL, when we know these plays going to break down on this team, we need the guy who's already built for this. He would get – you thought he had 90-some sacks and got destroyed in college. Go to a bad team and then have to beat it, and you ain't trained that yet. That's part one. Part two is this. And I'm not picking on Shadeur. I just love the purity of analysis. I love that Peyton Manning actually had a flip side. We had our sheet, and it was literally pros of Peyton Manning. And then they said, flip it over. Cons. And I was like, Peyton Manning got this many bad things? What? They're like, everybody does. All y'all. And I was like, shit. So I live in that world. So don't get me twisted like I hating on him. I'm just like, I know his issues. He ain't athletic enough. His arm is not strong enough. And he's making wrong decisions when things are breaking down. To your point, Brian Daboll, and everyone had to be anonymous, right? Because they were like, man, I don't want Deion mad at me, or I want the black community mad at me. But they were being anonymous, but they were telling it. Brian Daboll said, I brought him in, and I gave him an install. Y'all know install is basically, this is what we're going to run this week against this team. We're going to play, I'm at the Giants, I'm Brian Daboll. We're going to play the Buffalo Bills. This is what we're running. Shadeur, tell me what you do on this play. And he said Shadeur didn't know. He said he was fine with that. But when he told him he didn't know, and then he tried to correct him, he said he started getting mad.
He didn't care.
I heard that.
And
he got mad. Yeah.
Let me just say, when Shadeur walked out that room, Brian said,
this ain't it.
This dude ain't it. That went upstairs. He called his boy. Hey, man, Shadeur out here tripping. I mean, look, they got to go out for nachos, too. Yeah. And they just be pillow talking, too. And then it gets around, and then you meet somebody, and he's just like, I'm legendary. And you're like, you ain't drafted.
But his game is not that bad. And you look at Travis Hunter.
He ain't fifth round bad.
He's the Heisman Trophy winner. Who threw Travis Hunter the ball? Yeah. Shadeur. From Jackson State to Colorado.
Yeah.
His accurate is right. I watched the highlights.
He's accurate. I will say that. He is accurate.
I think they hated on the boy.
Either, because I see he get that ball down the field if he needs to.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, he's had a lot of plays where he.
Did y'all watch the Washington State? Did y'all watch the BYU game? We were watching it together.
Yeah.
And we both were sitting there like, nah. Yeah. Don't lie.
They was getting spanked.
Your black card is fine, bro.
Nah,
trust me.
I don't worry about that. I know
fine.
I'm solidified.
I remember we were like,
yeah, but then I watched all the other games too where that wasn't the case.
Colorado State, like
what were they? 9-3? Something like that. We gonna talk about the 3-day
loss.
loss.
Not the SEC. Like, all right, there's dudes, and in history, there's been Heisman winners who don't get drafted. Charlie Ward, he said, I'm going to basketball. Eric Frost, like dog. There's Troy Smith. Like, there's dudes who go low or not drafted that have done more in college. It's just we care because it's Deion's son. Do you know my boy who went to SC? He was a second-round prospect. He was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. He went undrafted and went to CFL. No one made a story of it. No one cared. Because that's just how the NFL draft is. But when it's Deion's son, we're like, no, he's better than that. Yeah. And as Tom Brady says, you prove him right or you prove him wrong. But I don't want to hear them excuses.
Yeah, well, you know what? One of my very close friends had a big fall on draft day. I'm sure you know him, Howard Griffith. We call him Howie, and he holds the NCAA record for touchdowns in a game.
Yeah,
8 touchdowns in one game. One of the
all from 1 yard. Let me stop.
Whatever it was,
Shadeur's passes, all 2 yards. No, hell no.
Whatever it was,
jokes,
it's lasted for almost 40 years.
Oh no.
And he fell down like the 7th round. Seventh round, and he had a great pro career.
Thank you.
2 Super Bowl wins. He was the one that used to salute with TD. Terrell Davis when they would score a touchdown. He was the lead blocker for Bus.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis.
All that.
Terrell Davis scored 2 touchdowns in 1 Super Bowl.
Okay, Al Bundy, homie. All right.
What I'm saying is that you can bounce back from this and prove what you can do.
He got picked higher than Tom Brady. How he can't bounce back? Let me tell you this.
Tom Brady didn't have the expectations that Shadeur had, though.
And look, that's your fault for getting caught up in him. I told y'all this story how Mel Kiper had me gassed thinking I was going 15, and I said, I don't want that gas. I literally blocked the gas because I was like, you're lying. You know what the truth is? What happens, not what you. Mel Kiper, you think a GM is calling Mel Kiper and saying, tell the world what we doing? No, he's the last end of knowledge, and this is out of respect. He just is. This is why I don't feel any qualms, any issues of talking about Shadeur objectively. I was a second rounder. I went to literally the sorriest football school in the country, Columbia, officially, objectively, before Prairie View broke our losing streak. We were the worst program. I had 3 or maybe 6 sacks my senior year. I don't think 6, I think 3. I went to the worst school with 3 sacks, went second round.
That's good.
It ain't about good or bad. It's about somebody gonna be on the elevator going up, and guess what? Somebody got to come down. Because they thought, man, that dude 6'4", 280, running 4.6. He don't know what he doing yet. Whoa, we gonna get our hands on him. Remember that pot of gumbo? And they looked at Shadeur and was like, he ain't athletic like that. His arm ain't like that. He taking these sacks. And they just dropped him to 5th.
I agree. I think that he's still gonna have a great career.
Yeah.
I think that
if
he works hard enough, which I'm sure this humbled him enough to get out there and really get after it.
He said that after the draft.
Yeah, I'm sure this literally humbled him to a point of like, oh damn, like my dream almost wasn't fulfilled.
He fumbled the bag. $44 million difference between him and Cam Ward.
However,
44.
Again, I'll say it may be a mix of like not wanting to deal with Deion, him bombing interviews, not working out for teams, Deion coming on couches and saying that he's not going to let a team, he's going to get involved. It could have been all that. What I'm saying is that it was definitely a little bigger than football.
It for sure was.
It was definitely a little bigger than football.
I want to dive into that after Crip on me.
Manning did it. He was like, I don't want to go play for San Diego.
Yep.
They changed.
What is wrong with us when we always do this what-about-ism? You are not Eli Manning for whatever. Look, I didn't evaluate Eli Manning coming out because I was still playing. Yeah, he was going to come to my Chargers. So I was still playing part 1. And part 2, I don't know how good he was at Ole Miss. I don't. So, but the point is, he knew how good he was, and he knew how good they were talking about him. The girl that you like, we can't talk you out of her if you want her. Right? You like, she fine to me. Everybody like, but you see how she like, man, look, we going out. Right? Eli knew they wanted to go out with him. Shadeur didn't, but he acted like he did because he was Deion's son. And ain't nothing worse than when you are inheriting, you think the success of your daddy. It's bad enough to inherit his sins.
I get that. I get that point.
You thought that dog, I'm not going to lie. And this is no diss, but I'm raising my son different. He better not, if he gets in a position to get drafted, this ain't turning into no legendary cave. Get drafted first. This ain't turning into $900 million on your neck before you, look, you can look your way. Your daddy did it. I did it a different way. You do it your way, but we're going to do it within realm of respect. Like, this was a whole job interview. You said, fuck that. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
I'm gonna go back to what
Come on, man. We got to raise our kids different than
couple
that.
episodes ago, we were talking about confidence versus arrogance, right? That Giants interview was arrogance to the extreme. That was just arrogance.
Yeah.
But what I picked up on is when he got drafted. Did you guys see the video? Shadeur's running out to the pool, jumping in there, excited. That showed me he's got that's humility. He has that humility. So, okay, I'm not a first round. I'm a fifth rounder. Not only that, I think he's positioned to be, all right, you're confident, arrogant, whatever it is, but now you showed humility. You have to compete against 4 other quarterbacks on that Browns team.
Really,
That room.
It's set up for him to be successful, in my opinion.
You don't count
He's got to
Kenny
fight
Pickett?
against 4 other quarterbacks.
First of all, most teams are taking 2 quarterbacks now, not 3. But if they do take 3, we know Deshaun, because of his contract, still got to be there.
But they signed
He's
that
not
other
playing the
guy.
whole year. He's out for the year.
I know, but he's on the book, so he's 1. Slotted, like we paying him. I'm not talking about like you gonna get on the field. You got to pay him. He ain't off the team.
But who's the veteran? They
Then
have
Joe
that-
Flacco
Yeah,
is gonna
Joe
be
Flacco.
there. We know Joe Flacco gonna be there because that's what Joe
Dylan.
do. He comes to save the day with his old
coach.
ass. Then it's between Kenny Pickett, which you can beat out, I think.
Yeah.
But Gabriel,
Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel, they picked before you, so the money has already gave him a lead. When they say first day, everybody get in line, quarterbacks. Dylan's in front of him. You're gonna have to beat him out. And that's already 1, 2.
I think I beat 2 people. It's only
Yeah.
2.
No, I'm not saying he won't be on the team. Look, Tony Romo was our 4th quarterback his rookie year in Dallas. But here's the biggest problem. They always say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. You jumping in the pool, does nothing for me. Because when you were up, or at least you thought you were up, you showed me who you were. Therefore, if I get you in this room, coach you up, you ball out, you all of a sudden back on top, guess who ain't in the pool no more? Him. And this is what I learned from the league, dog. I've seen cats humbled. I've seen cats cocky. And the league is sitting there like, we ain't going to tell you what we thinking, but your actions are speaking louder than your words. And when he was up, when the Saints prank called him, and we're going to talk about that, but legendary, like, it's a lot, dog. That's a lot.
That's my only thing with Shadeur. I'm Team Shadeur, but I'm like 50-50 on certain things he did. Like, one aspect, I love that he's being himself, and because, like you said, who you are is who you are. So I'd rather you just put that out front and center and people accept it, or they don't. The other side of it is you got to be aware of what's going on.
Man,
so
know the
like
room.
on the draft day when you're like, hey, I'm good either way, and then you put out this picture of all your chains and money and jewelry, it don't the optics of that don't sit well.
It ain't even the optics. That doesn't sit well.
Right.
Like we know what it is.
It just boils down to the NFL and the NBA. It's not a right; it's a privilege.
Yeah.
You gotta move accordingly, and that's what it is.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, like you got to know if somebody really wants you like that. How many times have you been to the club and you got your table and it's already set up and the bouncer's waiting for you to show up, and then as soon as you get there, he parting the line like the Red Sea. It's your night. Everything's good. Like, I've been there. And I've also been there when I'm like, damn, I hope somebody show up that I know, because right now they ain't sweating me. And then you're like, because Jason Tatum there. Like, but the point is, I've been there and they're like, all right, Wiley, who you with? How many? You know, you been there, right? How many? How many dudes?
Not tonight, bro.
Not tonight, bro.
Not
But
tonight,
then there's
bro.
other times, Wiley, are they with you too? Come on. And I'm like,
Last night, with
right,
Sean.
when we was out.
Yeah.
So the point is, I know when I'm getting the love, I know when I'm getting the like, and I know when I'm getting the hate. This draft, I don't know why he came out like they waiting for me outside.
When did people start having beef with Dion? When did he become a bad guy?
That's you.
I feel like that's always been the case.
I thought
He's polarizing.
I
Right.
thought
Anytime-
Dion was a beloved character.
He is and he's not.
When did he-
Anytime you're that great or that outspoken, there's gonna be people who love you, and there's gonna be the same amount of people that hate you.
Right, but when did I thought Dion was somebody that
I
everybody
think-
universally
I think when it became
respected as an athlete,
Talent-wise.
and liked as a person.
I think when it
He's
became
on
a
fucking
point
Affleck
of
commercials.
Dion, I think when it became a point of Dion being able to run your team or be that involved, they might love him from like him being an excellent player and being a Hall of Famer and like being able to say what's up. But when you talk about you are now involved with running my team and like heading my quarterback, I think that's a different issue. Of where,
well,
like, I don't
Deion
wanna
did
deal with
that
him on
to himself. Let's just be real. And Deion knows how much I love him. I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way. Whenever you're on public record saying, I want to coach my kids, whenever you're on public record knowing who you are, self-awareness, and you know that the commotion that comes with you could put your son in harm's way like this. Imagine Shadeur at Cleveland is not playing. And so Flacco's playing, and Flacco has a horrible game. And Deion's like, well, they got somebody on the roster they need to play. Fans already like, uh-oh, here we go. And then he can follow that up and say, I don't even know why they calling these plays. Then they're going to be like, oh, you should coach, and then Shadeur should be starting. And guess who's not signing up for that? Kevin Stefanski, the head coach. He like, yeah, I don't think Shadeur is good. Move on, second round. I still don't think he's good. Third round, nah, not yet. Like, because you do not want to give that guy any more power, any more voltage. And I think that was the most harmful thing to Shadeur is that Deion attached himself to say, I'll ride with you, baby. Or, more importantly, I'll be involved with you to a point where it will compromise the job security of where
Yeah,
you're
I
going.
think it was a learning lesson for Deion, too. Like, if
You didn't say that.
You know what I mean?
You did not say that.
Did I not
No,
say
you know
this
what you
earlier?
said earlier?
You literally
You-
repeated what I said, and when I said he was
Did
like,
you say job security?
He said,
Did you say job
You
security?
know, you said he attached himself too close, and that
I
works
said,
against
no,
him.
no, not too close. He said he was going to do it. Like, I want to, he said, I want to coach
I
myself.
said
Maybe
Deion was too involved.
Okay,
Everything
you're
you
right.
just
All right,
said
that's
was
general.
the same thing.
I got specific.
Well, you know when I knew
He said he wanted to coach his son.
You know
I'm
when
sorry.
I knew it was
I ain't want to say
bad.
the point. I ain't say
I
the
knew
point.
it was bad when the Steelers passed on him.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the
they-
black coach?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they needed a quarterback.
And if you look at the optics, the Steelers.
Are we that
had-
simple? You know how many white players would be drafted
Yeah,
in?
we are that simple. We are, and they are.
Tomlin
But-
was like, Tomlin, you know what Tomlin said when they said, you got to put in your name for the draft pick? You know what he wrote down?
What?
Nah, please. Like, I ain't drafted him and losing my job. I ain't never. He going with Mason Rudolph, right? Ain't that Mason Rudolph?
I thought he was in trouble
Aaron
when
Rodgers.
Las Vegas passed on him.
Yeah, because I thought that was the
Yeah,
lot.
but they were sixth.
Yeah, but I thought
you
You
Tom.
gotta get Ashton
Six.
Genty.
Yeah,
they had another pick.
Yeah,
But
they
it-
did.
but
they
it
didn't
wasn't
pick
the
him
Afro
then.
pick. Let me
Yeah.
stop. I got jokes.
You get a flag just for that.
I hate-
that was some bullshit.
I hate
Afro.
I hate when we gotta be locked in. Like, yo, you gotta get the brother in. I'm like, is the brother good enough? Like,
Well,
dog,
wait a minute,
You know how
bro.
hard it was
Yes,
for me to
bro,
get
yes.
here.
But see, Marcellus, that's what I'm talking about. Even when they drafted him, Sanders, the GM said, the job is yours. We're not handing it to you. You got to work for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, your daddy gave you the job because Jackson State, your daddy was there, so you didn't have to fight for that job. Or at Colorado, you didn't have to fight for it.
Yeah.
He's saying it like, oh, you got to fight for it. That brother know
That's
that.
shots at your dad, though.
Yeah, it's a black GM there.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. So it's a
His
black
ex-teammate.
GM.
But my main point
His
is,
ex-teammate is the quarterback coach.
he know what he got to do.
Deion.
Oh, Deion's ex-teammate?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
But they saying that's why the Browns used that pick for him.
yeah, we
because
got to
of the
check his
relationship.
texts. We got some Shannon Sharpe texts. I'm like, hey, bro, you better hook me up.
Yeah, that's what it says. The relationship, they've been friends since they were teammates, and they're still good friends now.
Bail my son out.
Yeah.
I think it was a learning experience for Deion. Like, if you sit there and you watch him, like when they both were drafted, he's sitting up there smiling. He
was
ain't never
humbled.
been in that position before,
was
man.
humbled.
He thought he needed to do what he needed to do, like LeBron, like LeVar Ball. He thought which any of us would do if
Damn right.
if our sons are getting to that
Yep.
point. We're
Everything
gonna be
but the
involved.
legendary cave down here. Other than that, yeah, we here.
That was at his house.
No, I know,
You
but
know what I'm saying? Like,
Optics.
but learning experience how? You got another kid coming?
no, learning experience.
Where you gonna learn from? It's rap. You had one shot.
Right. But what I'm saying
You
is
had two coming out at the same time.
He
That's it.
understood,
Like,
like,
found a 19-year-old OnlyFans. Who knows?
Who want OnlyFans that can play ball?
Go up the bat again.
in the middle of it, he like, oh shit, I might have outdone myself. Like, I might have been too involved. I might have been, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like, I
both
might
his
have done
sons
too
said
much.
that in so many words. Shiloh said,
Yeah.
like, my daddy had me, and he messed this process up, so I'm off. And then Shadeur was like, yeah, I would, if I could do it
If I
over
could do it
again.
over again, I probably would do it over. And Deion probably would do it over too. But shit, here we are now.
Like what you said though, to his credit, that's
unreal.
just fatherly love. That's just a dad looking out for his number one care in the world, right? I don't blame him for that.
Oh yeah,
I
don't either.
You would have done the same thing too.
Absolutely.
I have conversations because I'm coaching right now. I have conversations privately that I will say publicly, but not out the person. Their kid is one of the sorriest kids I've ever seen. Like, being real. No one knows who I'm talking about right now. But I've talked to him, and he's like, "Why doesn't he play more?" And no, y'all so stupid. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm like, dog, do you know how hard it was to get where I got? I'm not about to give it away. And it's not fair to every other kid that's working hard. So I was like, I said, and when they start talking like that, and I'm listening, I let them go. I go to where it's dry. Like when Richie P got to introduce himself, like no one's talking. It's like 20 minutes. I let it just die out on the phone or in front of them. I said, now, do you want to hear the answer? I give him a warning because I'm about to come at you. And he's like, yeah. Oh yeah.
He cleaned it up. He cleaned it up. If you had let that rest for one more second, it'd have been.
I started my reach though.
I started the clock.
You're
1
like,
second, 2 seconds.
And I literally say, with respect, sir, your son is not there yet. And what I mean by there is he's not mobile. He doesn't understand the concepts. He doesn't remember the plays. And I give it to him like that. Now, that's your last chance to get out this conversation with us being like the same level of friends. Because after that, I'm about to say, he's sorry. Like, he's slow. He sucks. It's okay. And look, it's not because my son is not. It's not because I was not. It's because my coaches always did that. Our coaches lined us up at 8 years old and said, everybody line up. Run to the fence. Run to the fence. Turn around. Run back. And then he'll look. He's like, all right, you, the first four, he will always grab four. Mm-hmm. You first four, come over here. Rest of y'all find a way to get them the ball and make them score. Y'all ain't touching it. And I'm not lying. I grew up from 8, 9, 10, 11. Them other 40 kids never got the ball. Like, I got to beat that out of my head sometimes and got to give it to kids that don't deserve it. Because I'm like, that's how the game goes. And track, how many, all right, he's a triplet. How many of y'all were on our national record relay? 2. The third one wasn't even on it, dog. Coach didn't give a damn. He wasn't sitting there like, oh, yeah, your brother's on there. Let me hook you up. He was like, man, get your ass a ball here.
We had a race to see who was going to be the top 4.
Yeah.
Top 4. There you go.
And that's rap. Like, and I live in that world mentally, but I know you got to take care of people. Shadeur just, I don't know why he wasn't there mentally. Maybe because he got hyped up. I think it's people protected him too much, man. I hated that people like didn't want to tell him, dog. And then it had to be all these anonymous sources, and you got to keep up on people that you don't even know. They can't put their name on it. That's what did Deion wrong. People didn't want to put their name on it because they want to be buddies with Deion still.
Yeah, I think Shadeur, the fault in him is he played into what the media was saying. Because I remember what it was, I think it was the NBA All-Star Weekend, one of them, or NFL or Super Bowl Weekend. They had a celebrity football game, and he was supposed to be in it, but he didn't play. And I remember it was like Angel Reese and a couple other people. They were like, "So you're not playing with you?" And he's like, "I'm a top 2 pick."
He said that?
I can't be out here. It's on YouTube. You can find. He was like,
he said, "I'm a top 2 pick."
Chains out, everything. I like the aura. I like it. It was cool, but I was like, he probably shouldn't be saying this. And I was thinking that at that time. And I like Shadeur, but he's like, yeah, I'm a top 2 pick. I can't be out here playing with y'all. Literally, this is what he said. So I'm like, but I'm like, hey, man, he's a top 2 pick, so I get it. But now when you look at it, it immediately made me think of that moment.
Said something too like that.
Yeah, they were. That's what I'm saying. They were believing that.
Yeah.
Said something like that.
Well, I mean, you can't do what your daddy do because your daddy ain't you. Yeah. And Deion had on 98 chains, and Deion was it. So we knew.
What pick did he go?
3.
I think he was 6.
Who, Deion?
Yeah, he was 3. He's 3.
Yeah, first round for sure. I think it was 3. But point being, he was Deion. Like him. Like he could have came up in there butt naked with no chains on. Like, gotta have him. We get him. Gotta have him.
That talking about Deion getting drafted just made me think about the story where they said, I don't know if it was the Giants, they were asking him something, and he was like, oh, I'm not entertaining that because I'm not gonna get drafted that low.
Yeah, I'm not
so
that low.
So if he was thinking like that,
anyway.
right? So he probably passed some of that energy into Shadeur.
for sure.
Oh,
Not realizing that
Every
Shadeur
dinner
ain't
conversation
sure,
was
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But not realizing Shadeur ain't you.
But that's not Shadeur's. He's 23. Of course, he's gonna listen to his dad to a certain degree. That's his
No,
dad.
I'm not faulting. I'm not
Shadeur's
faulting
21.
Dion or Shadeur.
23.
I think Dion did what any father would do, and I think Shadeur did what any son would do. But you also gotta have awareness, because outside of y'all is the rest of the world, and I think that's the only part where they dropped the ball.
Yeah, let me end on this story right here so we get another topic in. We're not done with this. There's so many angles, but I didn't. At first, I was not going to say his name, but since he turned into a Hall of Famer, I don't think he'd give a damn. Jason Taylor. I met Jason Taylor at the Combine. I remember going to the Combine, like I'm big, swole, 6'4", 270, looking like I could play the run in the pass, small school. I got to do everything. And then I'm in line, and I see this cat. Like, he like a feline. He's 6'6", 230-something, just lean. And I was like, what's up, man? He's like, Jason Taylor, what's up, dog? All right. And, I mean, it's kind of weird, like, when you big and then people just looking at you like, what's up, dog? And, like, he's like a real 6'5", 6'6", right? So he looking down at me. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker. And he lean, he all ripped. And I'm ripped, but big rip. He ripped like, ying, ying, ying. And I'm ripped like, boom, 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 right? So I'm like, damn. So we topping up. We really connected. So to the point where we going through it, and he went to Akron. So I'm just like, small school, I get it. And, man, Jason started telling me what he was up to. And he was like, yeah, I got this. I think he had 2 cars. He said, I got 2 cars. I got a white Benz or something like that. Got JT in the seats. Ready, boy. He's like, I'm going top. I think he was like top 20, he said, for sure. He's like, top 20 for sure. Probably higher than that. And I'm like, damn. And he not sunning me. He just telling me. He like, I done heard it, and I believe it. And I'm sitting there like, damn. And I swear, in the moment while I'm listening to this, you know, I got to like, oh, that's dope. I'm like, let it happen first. Like, you way ahead. We going through the workouts. I'm like, oh, shit, he right. I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, God dang. I'm trying to keep up. We doing the cone drill. I'm like, damn. He like, nyink, nyink, nyink. He's like, then I go, dong, 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 dong. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, he is going top 10, top 20. Turns out, guess who goes before? Him, me. I go in the 2nd round. He go in the 3rd round. And I don't know what happened to the Benz and the other car, but let me just say this. I hope he didn't keep it until he got his next contract, because the money was different back then, right? And that was just it was a cautionary tale of, like, no matter how good it's feeling, and sports teaches you this more than anything. Trip, we got to go here. How many times did we run track meets? And we the LA Jets, inner city LA, practicing at Dorsey. You know, across the street from the jungles. Rancho. Yeah. Right across from jungles. Yeah. We go out to Irvine, and remember Time Machine? Yeah. We had this other really good track club was in Irvine called Time Machine. Let's just say they weren't all black and across the street from the jungles. Right. And so you know how it go. You're like, oh, they can't run. It's 4 white dudes out there. Get in the race. Yeah. Time Machine right there. Yeah. Like, y'all good? I'm like, damn, what these little white dudes doing with me? And you gotta run. And every now and then they would beat us. Yeah. And I'm like, Time Machine.
That was our competitor.
That was our competitors.
Yeah.
And I learned way back then, man, don't judge nothing before it happens, and especially a book by its cover. Definitely. And it just seemed like Shadeur, Dion maybe got caught up in that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Since you hit the money part, I was going to ask you anyway. What is the difference between the rounds when it comes to money? I know he got 4.5, but what is the difference between 2nd round to 4th round?
You know what Cam got?
Or
it changes round. Every year because the cap goes up, but 48. Cam is like at 48 million. Right. Shadeur's at 4.
No, I get that. I'm saying, what's 3rd round get?
Oh, so let's just say top pick 48. I think 2nd round will probably be 20s, and then it's going 3rd round like low, like 8 single-digit millions. 4th round, like 5-ish, 7s. Yeah. I'm guessing, but I'm saying, but when I was a 2nd rounder, I got 4 years, 2.1 at pick 52. Shadeur's pick 144 and got 4.5. Right.
For 4 years?
For 4 years. Same as me, 4 years, 2.1 at 52. So
that's crazy.
Clap for the NFL.
He made a lot off of NIL though while he was in college.
Like $10 million a year.
Yeah, he was getting.
I don't even want to go there. Y'all seen that Cam Ward video when Shadeur talking about rapping, and he's like, I want to be known as a football player. Shadeur talking about rapping, all this, and he's like, I don't care. I'm gonna be a football player. 48 versus Shadeur has not made 48 million in NIL.
No.
And that's the point. Coaches always say, do not come to this practice on a red carpet. Like, keep football first. Keep the main thing. The main thing it will reward you way more than all that other stuff.
And he changed that now. Did you see it? When they were talking about after he got picked by the Browns, he was like, "Yeah, I don't care about the rap no more. I'm focused on football."
Didn't he rap when he got announced?
No, he asked him to rap, and he said, "I'm focused on football."
Oh, he did.
Shiloh asked him, and he was like, "I'm just trying to ball."
Because he got humble.
There it is.
Yeah, he got humble.
Humble pie. You're right.
Who hasn't been humble before? Let's go there. All right, next topic. Let's get it in. Let's talk about. There's an angle of the Shannon Sharpe whole fiasco that I want us especially to talk about, because if we notice one thing about Shannon Sharpe is it can be deceiving, right? Remember when Shannon Sharpe was at CBS, he was one version. Then we saw him on with Skip, and a lot of people call that a minstrel version, but I don't like to go that far. But the point is, Black Miles, do-rag, what's up, you know. Then he left there at ESPN. We didn't see that no more. We see Nightcap, Club Shay Shay. We see a lot of different versions. And then all through that entire 20, 30-year process, we never saw Onk with the 19-year-old OnlyFans girl. Like, you never saw that coming, right? My point is, was there any foreshadowing in this? Was there anything that could have told us or told Shannon, you playing with fire in terms of what you're portraying and, more importantly, how this can be disappointing to those you're leading, the black community especially? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, our community celebrates and supports some of the things that Shannon was doing that may have gotten on some of our nerves, and we may have thought were, minstrel-esque.
You gonna make a word up? Just do it. No, if you're gonna do it, do it.
Not like Trip. Not like Trip. Not like Trip. Yeah.
What's the word?
Hatch did
No,
that
the
too.
Hatch did it too.
Deservant.
Deservant. Hey, look, I'm still in his old opinion, so like we can do what we do.
You know, I have kind of muted my opinion of Shannon a long time ago.
Oh, tell me why and how.
Because I didn't like what he had become.
Ooh, talk about that.
And I didn't like how he portrayed himself. I didn't like it's kind of like the same reason I don't like Steve Harvey. I think you can evolve, and I don't think that once you get to a certain place, I think you have to hold yourself with a great example. I think Steve Harvey, I'm gonna talk like this because I can talk like this all the time if I want to, because I'm from the South. You know what I mean? And
Good.
That was good.
I was thinking, like, hey, he really sound like him.
It's like Jay Farrell. Jay Farrell, like, look out.
right. And at some point, I believe it's an act, and I don't think he was being his authentic self. And when you're not your authentic self, you'll tend to do things that will expose you to bad stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You will misstep when you're not being authentic.
You're out your element.
Yeah,
you will get beat. What they say, like Mark Twain said, like, be careful arguing with fools, like being out of your element, because then not only will they beat you with experience, but they also, they also know that they fools. Like, you're not a fool, but you acting a fool.
Right.
Like, that's why I never act hard around gangsters, because I know I'm really not gangster. Like, when the strap come out, I am screaming louder than you've ever heard. When you about to swing at me, I am, like, terrified. I don't like contact. I don't like combat. I don't like getting shot. Like none of this. So why am I seen somebody be like, and what you gonna do? You know what I'm about to do? Like, shoot, you... Yeah. like I ain't got none of that. And I think what you're saying is being like not authentic puts you in an element that you don't really want to swim in.
Right.
So you're gonna end up drowning.
Right. And I think he did it for the show. I think he liked to brag to his friends about it. I'm sure the booty was probably good and all of that.
Who, you talking about 19?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But still,
Oh, boy.
He's damn near my age.
Oh, boy.
You know that shit ain't.
No, he
the
ain't
same
that
age.
old.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
Same
not.
age.
Oh, yes, he is.
You are 60.
No, I'm not.
65? Colonel Sanders looking at you. How old is the Colonel?
58, 56.
57.
Oh yeah, you got him.
56, ain't he?
56. Yeah, yeah. He wear it different.
That's
Let's
your
just say
pair.
that. Yeah, yeah. He ain't got all that. No.
Well, if I don't look like this, I look 45. So
Oh yeah. That's what she said. You got an OnlyFans too. Motherfucker, she lied.
and she ain't 19.
I get that a lot, Rich.
20.
She's 20. Nah, totally.
But I just felt like it's inauthentic, and
Unauthentic.
that too.
That too. I don't know the difference between in and on either on that one, but it's not authentic. That's why I went not authentic.
I think authentic can be both unauthentic and inauthentic.
I don't know.
So break it down. Like, so you were off.
So I was off of them. So that's why I've never watched this podcast. That's why I don't typically watch him on Stephen A. Smith's show. He's just too loud for no reason and just kind of
I
doing.
disagree there. I think that's who he is. I mean, he is from the South, right? He's from like I think Mississippi or somewhere. Steve Harvey's not from the South, by the way. He's from Cleveland. So he ain't from the South. He just talked
that's
that
even
way.
worse.
He just talked that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Shannon Sharpe, I feel like he reinvented himself, man, in a way that was great. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody else was thinking about getting a Cat Williams on their podcast before he did it. Nobody else was thinking about getting Cheryl Underwood on their podcast.
Well,
before
sure
he
they
did
were.
It.
Cheryl Underwood's been a.
I mean,
Cheryl Underwood has been a talk show host.
But
what do you mean?
But my point
And
is,
he got lucky with the Cat Williams thing. That was lightning in a bottle, bro.
yeah, but he's also getting these people on these interviews that a lot of people weren't interviewing. That we were interested in hearing their stories and seeing things about them. So I feel like he broke the mold in that point. Cat Williams obviously broke the mold, right? Broke the internet. But I feel like he reinvented himself, and I mean, great for him if he's going to make more money in his podcast career than he ever did playing football.
I don't care about the money, but when you reinvent yourself, you are inventing, right? So you are moving away from authenticity.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think reinventing yourself means moving away from authenticity. I think
It can.
It doesn't have to be. You can highlight different attributes of your personality.
Right.
Like you can be like, now I'm pitching this up instead of before I had this down. Like you can on a CBS show, because I used to go there when Shannon was on there.
I was about to go there.
He was go there. Go there.
I was gonna say, I think with Shannon, what he did, he got lucky twice, but he was smart enough to know, hey, this worked, so now I'm gonna play into it. So is it not authentic? I don't know, but like you said, it could be another person's personality that he just wasn't showing. So the first thing was he was doing Skip and Shannon for a while, and it was doing numbers. But when he started doing the Unk thing, when they started calling him Unk, when he come out with the Henny and the stocking cap and the black and mild, it took off.
It went.
And he saw that, and then he started playing into that, and then it went there. Then when you brought up him interviewing like Cheryl Underwood and all these people on his podcast, he wasn't really doing that before, but Cat Williams hit. Right. And like you said, he didn't know Cat Williams was going to take off the way it did. No. But when he did, it was like, oh, this is a bag that is open. Let me go dig in there. Let me go get the Cheryl Underwoods. And now he's doing every black comedian. Right. So he's just playing into whatever he sees.
He's giving what the audience wants.
But that also means you just looking at what you did, what's happening, what
works.
That's TV. That's entertainment.
It's working.
That's what he's supposed to do. It's so weird because I'm on both sides. Like I am not mad at Shannon for keep showing more of who you are. First of all, you can't pull it off if it ain't in your bag, right? So it's in his bag. Yeah. He making these moves. So you got to salute that. Even though I wouldn't want to raise my hand to be that character, but that's not me. It's Shannon. That's why I'm watching Shannon do it. So no problem. But I do know what you're saying. Like, this is something that's been in the black culture forever, especially when you talk about it being minstrel of like, we were talking about Dion. It's a difference between we'll accept you, Dion, if you take a seat at the table versus, oh, you're trying to make us sit at your table. And that's a different animal, it seems like, from the world. It seems like with Shannon, when he was doing the character, it was like, is that who you really are? Is that the only way we can get our own? Is the only way we can get there is by like playing down to the lowest of stereotypes of us. But I let that go a long time ago because I was like, it's entertaining, it's funny. People liked it. He knew that he liked it, so they kept going. But now, the real conversation is Shannon kept doing that and kept reinventing himself. So what happens is, what are you tethered to if you continue to be all these different things? when if you were tethered to who you really are right now in this lawsuit and these allegations, you will be way more credible, way more respected and understood versus, oh, I thought you didn't send emails. Now you on a text everywhere. Oh, I thought you wouldn't even be in an elevator with a girl. Now you all out there like this with a 19-year-old. And this is why whenever something ever happens to me, don't ask a single soul. Just come go to the channel. It's coming out.
But the black culture didn't know Shannon like that. People just really in the last 2 years, 3 years got to really know 4 or 5 years, whatever. People got to know who he was, like, and really even give a damn about who he was. People probably, some of this younger generation had no clue who Shannon Sharpe was, had no clue about his football career. They only knew about him in this podcast world.
He said that. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, they don't even know he wouldn't. What he would have done in the past, they wouldn't even have known that.
They don't know how long the worm really is.
Exactly. Yeah. They wouldn't have known what he would have done.
I know. I did it on purpose. That one I did on purpose. No. Suicide's a suicide. No. I killed myself. I was going to say snake, but I didn't want to associate snake with. But that would have been crazy. Yeah. But Shannon's not a snake, but it could have been a snake. Right. But basically, yeah. Like, it is.
Can I ask you just real quick, because you were talking about how like authenticity with him. He brought up the elevator thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched Skip and Shannon like in the early days, but he used to always talk, and Skip would say this too, like Skip was like, I never drank because my father was an alcoholic. And Shannon would say, yeah, I never drank either. They were both, that was their thing. Neither one of them ever drank or did any of that. Then when he started his podcast, he started his own cognac, and then he drinks every episode.
Yeah.
I always thought that was strange. 'Cause I'm like, I remember you saying you never drank. You've never drank. And now you drink all the time. So that
is there, you said
it does, but we're talking about authenticity.
Authenticity, Dad.
So are you willing to sacrifice authenticity or be unauthentic, inauthentic, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just for the dollar. Yeah, and that can play into his legal thing, can play into a lot of
because that character manipulation, that blurring of the lines. Okay, so this is what industry people always say when they want to say something that is not flattering to Shannon Sharpe. Is because we know him and people know him and they be like, dog, you don't look like that drinking. You don't look like that smoking. And we all knew it. So the thing is, you got to respect us. We protected it. Whitlock will go there, but then most people don't want to hear Whitlock, so they ain't even want to give it credence. But Whitlock been saying like, Shannon don't smoke and drink like that, and then he started to do it with Le Portier or whatever, right? So I always knew this from hello. Like Shannon, when he was doing that, I was like, I ain't going to let the cat out the bag, but I was like, that ain't Shannon. But then it turned into like, I'm onk. But what are you onk of?
Right.
Oh, the black community, black culture. Now, this is another thing we all knew. Let's just say Hatchet got competition in snow and skiing.
Somebody told me that a long time ago.
Shannon knew the purest of fine slopes, and that only. Like really.
Olympian.
Right, to the point where when he gets caught up right now, people are assuming she white, even though she's Spanish. But the point is, she ain't black because some people know that's how he get down. The old running joke of, if you ever see me with a black woman, I'm just holding her for the police. Was a real shit. I don't want to say he said that. I don't want to say he didn't say that. I want to say that that's associated with him. Now, dog, but see, I'm from that era where, dog, you are who you are. This is before social media. This is before the world is really like, oh, this is receipts. Like, it was wild times, right? And you could get away with just, man, look, I ain't tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the not authentic angle has kind of, if you've been really watching him and following him, kind of led you further away from who he really probably is.
But why does the not authentic matter so much? Here's why I'm saying that. For those of you who worked in corporate, most people have their corporate mask versus their at-home mask. And the reason why I say that, you need to have because there's a point in my career where it stopped growing because my, call it, executives told me, you need to put on an asshole mask. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't be a corporate asshole because that's just not who I am. But to my, call it, inability to climb further. So what Shannon's doing is, well, what's wrong with it? If he's not being authentic, but he's more successful, maybe that's what he wants.
Yeah.
And then was it Steven Jackson who was calling out this? We're talking about black culture, black community. He's calling out, like, why are you guys? Why is the black community getting upset with Shannon Sharpe? We're seeing him fall off what has been a very successful career, and now we're cheering and applauding to see a black man fall, to fail. Why would we do that? Same with Shadeur.
Nobody's applauding it.
Yeah.
Not applauding, but we're relishing the fact that he's going through this situation. Not we, but
We're not relishing it.
Well, you gotta give credence to it. There is a population out there that is not pumping the brakes. It's like, I told you, or see, this is what happens, or more importantly, I'm glad this is happening, because if you're gonna be that foolish and stupid, I've seen tons of videos like that. But the only difference I would point out, because that was an amazing, astute point, is there's a difference in occupation.
Right.
Now, what are you buying into? When I buy into you in the corporate world, I buy into your production, your results. I give a damn about your personality, right? Like, I care, but not more than the results in production, right? But in this, I'm buying into you selling me who you are or what it is. So the production really is, what are you producing? Are you producing a character? Or are you producing who you really are on full display? And that's the only difference. And even that is minuscule, right? Because Stephen A is quiet in real life. Dare anybody believe that when you watch him on air, right?
I mean, I feel like when you're in the media, though, you almost got to turn it on and turn it off, right? So if he's turning it on for the show and the podcast and turning it off for who he is in real life, that's what happens.
Catch what you just said. No one has a problem with Stephen A being quiet in real life and loud on air. Turn it on, but don't go left. Don't go right. So Shannon, you drinking, you don't drink.
Right.
You smoking, you don't smoke.
I mean,
you're the uncle to black people, you don't fuck with the sisters like that.
I think
that's what people are saying. Like, that's a difference. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just going to tell the truth.
Somebody else that does that, and Eugene made a great point, and then you said Steven Jackson.
Right, exactly.
That is the worst example. Exactly. Like, he contradicts himself so much.
Yeah, it's a problem.
He literally will say one thing, and next week argue against his own point.
Yeah.
He does it all the time.
It's entertaining. You're talking about him.
Yeah, it is. But is
he polarizing for real?
Right. It's like, is this for
He bipolar.
Exactly.
He bipolar like that.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're doing it for entertainment. It's another thing you're doing it because you're just not authentic. And I think that's the same conversation with Shannon that we're trying to figure out. Which one is it? Is it entertainment or is just who you are?
And the fall is going to be much further if you are being inauthentic and people see your authentic self.
Oh, yeah.
Because then people feel like they've been duped.
Yep.
And then they're going to just turn you off completely.
Yeah, that's why we hate commercial rappers and we root for their downfall. Like, whoever you want to say, Vanilla Ice, whatever. You faking it. And then you see some backpack rapper and you sitting there rooting for him forever. And you're like, dog, it's a different animal. Like, the authenticity angle protects you from ever looking out of pocket, out of character. It's like, so when something bad happens, and to be real, like, I'm thankful. I don't believe in brands. Like, I believe in being myself, and then people would think about you what they want to think. But look, it would have been better if I believed in brands, because I could have, like, which one works the most for me? I could have ran, like, there was a time when every time I talk about the Clippers, everybody it would be the most viral things I did. It was like, Clippers, man, they better than the Lakers. Oh my God, Marcellus. And I'm like, I like the Lakers too, but I would kill my own brand, because I'm like, no, the Lakers ain't sorry. They, So I know what Shannon did. And it's like, I could have picked those things. I could run with it. But then I'm like, dog, I'd rather just run with me, because I'm always going to be here. Like, I ain't going to never get tired of being me. He got tired of smoking blacks. He got tired of drinking. He got tired of, that stuff.
Quietly, that went away. I didn't even think about that until today. Like, you just don't even see him doing it no more. You don't play into it.
Yeah, it worked.
So now it's like, oh, that was all a facade.
His platform is bigger now. His platform is bigger now.
That proves a point. Because if that's who you were, regardless of the platform, you would still be doing it.
You would take that with you to get it
that's
even
who you
bigger.
Are.
That's even more draw. Right. Oh, this worked down there. Oh, it's really going to work up here. It's like you keep changing who you are just to appease what they want. But then there's a population of people saying, well, who are you? Like, and look, it ain't me, because I don't watch that. Like, I don't digest entertainment the same anymore. I'm not 20, 19. I'm not
I ain't 19.
OnlyFans. I'm not that age bracket. Like it has missed me. New rap, good luck. Like, you know, if it ain't Kendrick or Drake beefing, new rap, another YN, I'm done. Like I'm done. Whatever they are. I'm old now. I want to be an old head. And this is what's crazy. People said if Shannon wanted to be an old head, he wouldn't be in this predicament right now. Right. If you wanted to be like an old head like us, like, dog, you remember the other night y'all hit everybody on group text talking about let's go out to Grits and Biscuits. I was like, man, I just had some grits and biscuits. Night, nigga. Night.
Sleeping.
It's 10:26. Night.
I love that place, but I love the bad boy.
Yeah. That was my text. I love that party. It's one of my favorite parties. I sweated out. 20 pounds on the floor. But I'm like, nah, this bed is just talking. MJ right there, Rye over there, Olivia right here peeing on me. Like, it's just life. Like, she peed on me last night. I was like, this little nasty little. I woke her up. I was like, girl, stop it. I heard it. I was like, wake up. She was like, daddy. Got to do a bonnet. Her hair, braids everywhere, pee everywhere. It's 2:20 in the morning. I said, boy, if I went to Grits and Biscuits, it'd be a wrap. I'll be one of them bad parents. You know what I mean? Let them lay in that pee. It ain't gonna hurt them. Wake up all chafed and shit. All right, let's get into this, man. Speaking, we brought up the podcast, but we didn't bring up his partner, Matt Barnes. Oh boy, there was leaked audio of him asking for some dirt, courtesy of Shaquille O'Neal. I want to talk about that angle because that kind of, we ain't even touched on that yet. How I swear, and this is just my spidey sense. Knowing the industry, knowing how there's ops out there, haters, whatever. A lot of this stuff does the lawyers. Lawyers pay people to bring up a lawsuit. That's real stuff. People, Shaq supposedly, allegedly, put some money in the streets to just give me something on Shannon Sharpe. Coincidence that all this is happening now? Coincidence that he's up for a $100 million deal and he's the biggest thing in independent media? And Stephen A. Smith just gets his $100 million deal, and now suddenly we got to cut his legs. Coincidence that all this is happening right now when Shannon was literally about to take one of them Amazon Wondery deals, you know, them Kelsey deals, one of them next level generational wealth. What do you think?
I think there's some legitimacy to it. I don't know how much. At first, I didn't think about the Shaq thing, but as I was watching how all this played out, it did make me think about the Matt Barnes audio from, I don't know if that was like a month ago, but it was recent.
And that was real, right? That wasn't AI, right?
No, it was a real conversation.
God dang, man. People out here plotting, cuz. Like, we got to watch your ass.
And we done seen it, and somehow, I don't know, I think it's because Shaq is like so fun-loving and playful. A lot of stuff he'd do.
I know.
I miss
Watch
that
your
one.
ass. Watch your ass. Watch your ass. I mean, how can it be bad? I watch my own. You don't take a shower.
I missed that one. So I didn't.
You telling on yourself. You missed it.
No, that means it wasn't that bad. Don't try to throw me in that.
I thought he was like, that's nothing.
He the one that said it. He tried to group me in there.
And that's okay.
I need somebody with me.
And that's okay.
I need somebody with me.
We got flags for two people. It's the same two every time.
Oh, my God.
But I think with Shaq, I think because he's like so playful, a lot of stuff he does just kind of gets swept under the carpet.
Yes.
But, man, he been mixed up in some stuff, in some drama over the years that he probably should have went down for. So do I think he has something to do with it? I don't know, but I'm not. But I think that there's something there.
Yeah,
possibly.
I don't want to even. I use them to set up the question, but the real question is there other forces at play here than just Shannon Sharpe? Because look, what caught me crazy is like when my allegations came up, it was like 2 years ago. And it was like somebody warned me. It was like, dog, you talking too much about these politics. You talking too much about all these people. Then somebody was like, dog, you better chill. And I was like, chill for what? And they was like, man, I'm just telling you, there's a machine out there. What do they call it? The deep state. Like, I'm like, I don't believe in all that shit, even though I know it's real. I just don't care. It's like sci-fi to me. I'm like, oh. Like, if I did it, I did it. Whatever. So then I didn't know about the law change and all kind of crazy stuff, but then all of a sudden law changed and then bam. And then somebody was like, who you been talking about? And they gave me a list of names. And I was like, they're like, I bet they did that. And I was like, damn. And then I look at now Shannon, and some of those names are the same. Like, oh, I bet. And I'm like, damn. And I just want to know if y'all believe in like the forces at play.
Listen, there could be forces, yes, but you can only if there's nothing to get, then the forces don't matter.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No,
that's not true at all.
Let's go.
So let me finish.
No,
let me finish.
Yeah, let's go.
There's text message, there's supposed video, there's conversation that we've heard. Like, again, we go back to the point of you got to be smarter than that when you have that platform. So my point is,
oh boy, keep talking.
No.
I got one on you right now.
Yeah.
And you ain't, look, first of all, he's scared. No. I would never do that. First of all, I know you like, nigga, what? Nigga, show ain't shit.
Yeah, you got your blinders
but
on.
I'm about to paint one for you once.
No.
You go.
So my point is, if he has all of this in the tank, she has all of this in the tank, then the forces, even if they were strong enough, he could be like, you ain't got nothing on me. You ain't got nothing on me, so no matter how many people are coming at me, I can still stand 10 toes down and say, it's bullshit.
But it's not about what you did. It's about what you can make people believe. Yeah. That's the difference. Every guy in this room you can think of a chick you messed with back in the day that, I was good, never had no issues. If you get $100 million deal, I'm just hypothetical, you got $100 million deal tomorrow, there is some female that you dealt with at some point that can make a case against you. Whether you did something to him or not.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, and it's just her job now to make people believe it.
What I'm saying though, to that point is, if he is not nothing to believe, we believe her. I don't
believe her.
I don't not believe her. I don't not believe that they weren't in a relationship.
No,
I don't not believe
that's
that they
two separate things though. Believe that they were in a relationship or believe what she's accusing him of.
I mean, listen, whatever she's accusing him of what? Choking her and like assault or whatever.
Sexual assault.
Yeah, but they also, again, had role play. So the choke word, is he choking her in sex or is he choking her in public?
But you say you believe her.
I'm saying there's nothing that I don't believe. I believe that they were in a relationship. I believe they were having sex. I believe that they were.
I get that, but I'm saying believe is, you're talking about two different things. You believe they were in a relationship or you believe he sexually assaulted her? Because that's two, you saying I believe.
I don't believe he sexually assaulted her. I believe that there was smoke and then there's fire.
Daz, can I give it to you like this? Because we've hung out before. I give you one example. Remember that last party we went to, and we all were there. Trust me, I protect the guilty, and I'm guilty. Remember we were there. Yeah. I give you a framework. One of our homegirls, Yaz, our homegirl was there, right? Yeah. Now Yaz is not ugly. Let's just say that, right? She's an attractive lady, but she's our pickleball partner. But if you don't know that, you're like, she fine. Whatever. She can't play pickleball, so trust me, you don't want her. She sucks. Yaz, come on. All right, here we go. She's horrible. Sometimes I'm like, she is getting better, which is bad because she still sucks. No, that's the homie. I love her too much. But the point is, she's there. All of us saw her and was like, wow, out of context, pickleball homegirl right here. Hugs, dancing, kicking it. That's the homie. Homie, so we got her number. We could text her. What if one of the texts her, what y'all up to later? And I'm just giving you a hypothetical I could go. Now her homegirl don't know you, so she like, oh, look at Daz. Look at Yaz dancing with, I don't know this dude, just taking pictures. And then we dancing, we doing this, we doing the centipede, we doing all that. I'm old as shit, right?
What?
Y'all remember Centipede? We doing the ET. We over there whopping and shit.
Roger Rabbit,
like right. But point being, so there's a coloring of the context of, oh, they're dancing, they're hanging, they know each other. Then there's I don't know them, but there's a text that says, what you doing later? I don't know, what's up? Then it could turn into a phone call. And then the next night, and I'm putting it on two friends so that you know that there's no negative connotation, there's no real, it can happen. The next morning, she can say, you know what happened after that? We went to eat, he hung out with me, we got back in the car, he was aggressive, and you know what happens after that text, that last one, to nothing? Yep. whatever he say, she say.
Oh yeah, I get that.
And so now that's y'all pickleball partners. Let's add $100 million to that. Man, everybody could get. Everybody could get got.
What you believe, not
Yeah.
what you actually did.
Because she could literally run with that, and you could be like, what the fuck? So then she comes to you and sends a demand letter. Hey, Daz, I need a little of that $100 million I heard you about to get. What you talking about? Girl, we ain't even hang. We ain't even do nothing. We all just went to eat. Do you want this to get out? Do you want your wife to know that you, and you like, man, a dog. I was an NFL player rep for 9 of my 10 years. So I had to work not only with the players, but the teams and the league and the FBI, retired FBI. Dog, I really got to see cases come across like left and right. And they were like, extortion, pay it. Yeah. And I was like, he got to pay that? They're like, does he want that out? And I was like that. So Deshaun Watson all the way down, I seen it.
I get that.
Feel me? Yeah. So that's why he was saying it ain't what you did, it's what you believe that could have happened, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nah, yeah, that's the game.
It's
Anybody
sad
gonna
game.
follow that up? No. Like,
It's a sad game because they got to figure out a way to change it, but I don't think it's possible to change it.
What about it's tough. Somebody said.
So I guess the point is to that. You said, I guess the question was, are there outside forces besides Shannon? Right? That's what you asked, right?
Yeah, pushing against Shannon. Like some people rooting for his downfall.
Correct. So what I'm saying is my point. Just say that was Jay-Z, for example. Say there were outside forces against Jay, right? But Jay was 10 toes down, like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. And he stood 10 toes down. Do those outside forces matter?
I'll tell you this. You got to – I think if you're talking outside forces, it has to pick the right one. So let's be real. Jay-Z, if there were outside forces on this like 13-year-old girl, you picked the wrong one. Yeah. He wasn't even in the vicinity of her. But if you picked whatever happened in that elevator years ago, whatever that was – remember that with Solange and all that? Whatever. I don't know the details of that. Sure. But you can paint a little. There's something to grab onto there versus this one. But no one went there because it was Family Matters. Right. But imagine if it wasn't Family Matters. Think about it.
He'd have been cooked.
He'd have been cooked. Whoever that person and that, whatever that was, I don't even want to go in conjecture. Whatever that was, if that would have been attached to somebody who was salacious, who wanted to get some, they could have got some. Because public opinion was already too scattered, too out there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. It's serious, dog. Like, I've seen some great people literally come across the desk. I was like, there's no way. And most people ain't going to read through no damn lawsuit. Right. This one's 13 pages on Shannon. Most of them are 30, 40, 50 pages. Ain't nobody reading that shit. They're like, man. But it literally could say something that you would be like, there's no way that happened. But people don't even care. They just saw the headline, and then they thought about what they thought about.
It also depends on how much of your resources you're willing to risk to fight it.
Big bank take little bank.
Big bank take little bank every single time.
That's why Jay.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all can't play with me.
I
got too much.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on his phone with his lawyer all day. That's $200,000. Everybody else like, I text you. Please help.
I'm sure Jay already.
Keep it quick.
I'll fax you.
That lawyer on day paid. He paid that per year.
He's getting his 5%.
Take care of anything that comes
my way. That's crazy. Okay, how about this angle right here? Because I thought this was interesting. This came from CTE ESPN. That's AB. Yeah, dog, AB is
Antonio Brown.
Dog, Antonio Brown's hilarious. We have lost him. He's so funny. ESPN and Fox Sports, quote, want to always talk about allegations of players who trying to hurt their image. Don't care if it's true or not, but, when employees have allegations, they look the other way. What do y'all think about that in terms of our sports media coverage? Because it's weird. You know the Fox lawsuit that happened. You sitting there like, y'all really going to act like y'all ain't.
They ain't say a word.
They ain't say a word. And then, now this one. Any problem with that, or are you just like, whatever?
I think naturally people just protect their own. And I think if you get out there and start talking about it too much, now you might open up more lawsuits. So it's better to just keep it under wraps and hope that it quietly goes away.
So as a viewer, I'm sitting there saying this because I agree. That's the smart way to do it. What they say, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will See, that's the part people forget. Will, mother. Like, forget the can. We gonna use it. Even if you, and this is why I remember police are saying, dog, don't say nothing. You think you saying something that's gonna help you, we gonna twist that shit. So that's why they say will. So then, but I'm like watching Fox shows or, watching this, and I'm like, y'all ain't even got a blanket press statement? But then an athlete sneezes, and they sitting there like, we gonna get you, and got you covered and splattered off of potential allegations. Remember when Stephen A. Smith said, I'm bringing the same energy like you did with Deshaun Watson to the kicker, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker. Which he didn't, because that was the last time I heard about Justin Tucker on there. But the point is, I'm sitting there like, it's kind of weird to me. I don't trust watching TV when you can't tell me, yoo-hoo, the same thing I just killed them for, they after me for, but we'll move on from that. They don't even give you that.
I think the simplest way of saying it is if you talk about the people at your network, it'll take your money. If you talk about them athletes, it'll make you money.
Well, plus there's a
drop the mic.
You're absolutely
Drop
right
the mic.
about that. And there's professional liability.
Right. That's
about
the
talking
take
about
money.
your employees.
That's the take your
You know,
money
you
part.
can't. I can't call your old employee and have them tell me why you got fired, or they can't tell me anything but that you worked there from this date to that date.
True.
So they can't talk about their employees,
Yeah.
especially when stuff is still pending.
You know what's wild about that? Because that's dope. Like, that was a drop the mic moment. I've been on set with somebody before under fire, and there's nothing worse. Because you sitting there like, why are we talking about the damn Patriots? Your ass, they lighten your ass up, boy.
That's all you want to talk
That's
about,
all,
right?
you know me. You know me, fuck this show. Like, no, we get way
Can I
better
ask you
ratings.
what I really want to ask you?
No. Why did you do that? And you just sitting there faking it, and then you go on a commercial break. That's what corporate culture is. Like, protect your own, right? Just make it at any cost despite anybody else's pushback or apprehension. But it don't, I think that's why traditional media is set up to not fail, but to not outpace independent media. Because independent media is going to be like even Shannon, he was like, he put his fingers like this.
This is not.
I saw somebody say,
"This is not true."
This is a lie. As soon as you integrate your fingers, you lying. And then it was like, I want to tell you guys and protect, my image and tell the truth and be real to my fan. But
You're getting impeached.
But yeah, straight off the prompter.
That and wearing glasses. You got to put the two.
Put the glasses on.
Yeah.
He's reading prompter, but it's authentic, which, I mean, you could have wrote it authentically, but then the cut and paste of the
Which all circles back to, if people don't know what your authentic self is, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
it makes us doubt you way more than we should.
That's right.
It should have been, hell no, that's it. Dumb as hell, messing with that young girl. Move on. But it wasn't. And you know why I know it wasn't? Because Shannon came out too much like this. Look, if I know I'm going to whoop your ass, let me give you my Master Kim story. Y'all know who Master Kim is? Nobody does. Okay. So my kids go to Taekwondo. Eugene does. Master Kim is this like 70-some-year-old, 17 times black belt. But he's 70-something. But he still can get into prayer pose. Like, he limber as hell. He'll whoop your ass. He the nicest guy in the world to us civilians. To them kids, they listen to every word he says because they know Master Kim don't play. My point is this. I remember talking to him one time. I was like, Master Kim, you ever get into a fight? He said, no fights. I was like, why? He's like, not fair. I was like, not fair to who? Like, your ass is set. I give you something that you don't want. He's like, not fair to them. He's like, I see it all coming from a mile away. I was like, ooh. And he said that's why he doesn't fight, because he knows who he is, and it would not be right to do it. When you're authentic, you ain't fighting, you ain't blasting, because you know I got this. And that's what when we were talking about earlier, which is interesting. Like, when they're not authentic, it shows. It literally shows how much they fighting, like how much they trying to really win it back, and you're like, you ain't even lose it. Why won't you trust your lawyers to just win this out? You already trusted them for the 6 quiet weeks of mediation. Why didn't it go to that extent is kind of the conversation.
And what is somebody who has been authentic that you know, what's the first thing they say? You know me.
Right.
You know good and well I wouldn't do that.
He didn't say that.
You know what I mean? And if you can't say that, then there's something wrong.
Damn. That is deep. Because I don't believe any of the allegations to that degree, even though that's totally irresponsible to say it because I wasn't there. But I'm like reading it. I'm like, I don't believe that. But I do believe you got finessed. And I do believe that you got finessed largely because you got so far away from what you were and what we thought you were. And therefore, the finesse, she came right in that gap of like, oh, they going to believe this because you ain't, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't been that same dude.
Perfect
And
person you said you are.
yeah.
Plus,
Perfect storm.
we're never going to look at him the same way.
Nah.
Right?
No, that's a good question. Will we?
No.
Can you? I think you
my
can.
perception didn't change from him.
Not 1 degree.
Mine did.
Not really.
Mine did.
I already knew he liked skiing, so that didn't change much. And then
Skiing is one thing, but 19-year-olds and you're 55.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't.
It's
really
hard to
look-
ski when the snow ain't hit the mountain yet. Like,
you know,
This goes back to
you
when
can't ski in the air, mother. It's 19.
I don't
It ain't
judge.
even a cart
I
route.
don't kill him for the
Snowflakes in the
19-year-old
air.
thing. Now, if she was 17, 16, then I'd be like, oh, no. 19, I'm
hey,
like, all right,
Jeff,
whatever.
You'd be
If
surprised.
that's what you like, knock yourself
You'd be
out.
surprised what you find out about some of your favorite people
Right.
in the world.
never
and,
meet your heroes.
and what
Everybody
they
got
like.
Never
skeletons.
date your hero.
Yeah,
or
and
your-
what they
your fantasy.
like and what they do behind closed doors.
You mean, oh, they're human?
Yeah, you'd be heartbroken to see. So my perception doesn't change
Yeah.
of him in that sense. It's just like, all right, dude, if that's what you like, that's what you
That's
like.
how I looked at
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
But see, we work in entertainment, so we're
Oh,
used
yeah.
to it.
We blue state.
We're used to it.
Yeah,
you
we
know what I
blue
mean?
state like a mother.
Jaded. You get
from
jaded.
Yeah, we out
Chicago-
here,
My boys
LA.
from
That's
Chicago are like, what?
That's true.
What? What?
Yeah,
This
that's
dude, what?
See,
I
this,
think
I
it
didn't
was-
think about
And
that.
that's his fan base, a large that
on.
mid that
Hold on, Terry.
flyover,
Yeah.
that down south. They don't play that like you faking it. You trying to manipulate us?
Right.
Like they don't play it like we do on New York and Cali.
See, this
Like, we
goes
get the
back-
game.
This goes back to what you were saying a couple weeks ago. Cats ain't got game. You get caught up in this situation. I mean, come on, you got to be smarter than that. $1 Million Man with a 19-year-old chick on OnlyFans.
It's a setup.
Monique
It's set up
tried to
from a
tell
mile
him.
away.
Monique tried to tell him.
The
Monique tried to
other
tell him.
chick tried to tell him too. It's the black comedian. I can't think of her name, but she tried to tell him the same thing. Because they've been dropping all them clips. All
them
the
clips
people
everywhere.
That been warning him, and he just
And one clip
oblivious
they
to
haven't dropped is the one that we saw in some movie. He said, "You pay girls to go away,
To leave.
to leave." Well, I don't know what
My
movie that.
grandfather
And here
used to
go
say that
Marcellus.
back in
So
the
if
day.
you're paying for it, why you taking it? It should be handed, right?
Why you texting it? He doing too much
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. You crossing
He
lines.
doing too much talking
Come on,
and too much simping with this little 19-year-old
man.
girl. That's what it was. But I to go back to what we talking about, I think he'll be okay with its own platform with the nightcap and stuff.
because it's still going.
It's still going, but I think that's the most of who Shannon really is right there, and that's what
Nightcap
Yeah,
or
I think
club
that,
shit? Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that nightcap with the.
But Nightcap was based, the clips I've seen, the times I've watched, of unfiltered, truth, banter, me and my boy. So let's be real. There was a time where Chad was in, he had his
Situation.
issues to deal with, right? Remember that? And now he survived that, obviously, and now he can talk about it, whatever. He married or not, I don't know what they doing, but whatever. Shannon right now, there was a time where you couldn't be that Chad version. You had to kind of wait your turn to get back to that guy. Can Shannon right now be unfiltered while he going through this? So imagine this. This is one thing I learned about being in media. User behavior and how you have to reach your audience and be consistent. So if your audience see you switch up, they switch up. Oh, Nightcap used to be, he talking about all them girls. And now he like, oh, what are you talking about, Chad? For 3 months, 6 months, how long this trial gonna go? Right. Like, I'm just asking. These are not like definitive statements. These are questions. The audience gonna ride through that sanitary period.
You know what plays into that? Because I was actually going to send this to you the other day. They posted a clip on the Club Shay Shay, and it was an interview with him and Bud Crawford.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
that.
he was talking about the fighting. He was a fight with Trey Songz.
Yeah.
And it's a clip where he's like, I was just going to Bud Crawford saying this about Trey Songz. He's like, I want to fight. I was going to choke him.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then he was like, you ever choke anybody before? And this was literally the day it came out. And then I was about to send that to you, and then it was like, it wouldn't let me send it. And I'm like, what's going on? I thought it was my phone.
Damn, there was some forces.
They deleted it. They deleted the clip. And I guess.
Oh, I saw that clip too already.
I screen recorded it because what made me screen record it is when I went to the comments of it, because if you haven't refreshed your Instagram, then the video's still there.
Yeah.
And I was reading the comments, and it was like, they are blind. Like, his team, why would y'all put this clip out? And then it connected like, the choking thing.
Wow.
He's talking about choking, so they got rid of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that clip is out there because I got it. So I know other people have it or seen it too.
I saw it. And that's the tough part. Like, how are you going to dance around this right now? I also saw the clip when Bud was talking because, Shannon, there's a lot of stuff that they talk about with Shannon. And Bud was talking, and then Shannon went like this and touched his knee. He's like, boy, get your hand off me. like Master Kim, like Bud Crawford, like,
he actually did that a lot in that interview. Like, he kept checking Shannon over different things.
Yeah, he was.
It almost seemed like there was like a tension or beef there. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just his personality or.
I wonder when they filmed that, because part of the reputation of Shannon right now is there's a faction of black culture, especially, that says, "Oh, you exploiting us, or you taking advantage, or you just salacious, or all these little." Interview, I ain't gonna be the one. Like, Cat Williams got it to a point where people loved it and loved the hate all of a sudden. Like, you ain't gonna get me on here and have me looking bad, right? Yeah. And I'm like, because Bud was a little more like, he didn't play the game as much.
He didn't. He was like jabbing at him throughout the whole interview.
Yeah, like he knew all of the things that people thought of Shannon, and he was like, I'm watching. So when you do this, like, oh, what up, boy? Hand off me, boy. I was like, God damn.
Me, Shay,
and you ain't gonna do nothing. Right. Don't let that size fool you.
Right.
Wow.
Did you see when they were like play fighting a little bit?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, see, you got all the muscles for nothing. He's like, you can't. I was like, damn, bud, you going out? It's like,
Bud done been shot before in the head. So like, Bud, like, look, I done seen death before, basically. Yeah. You ain't doing nothing to me. I ain't scared of all that shit. Mm-hmm. That's wild. So I just think there's a weird space where we're in. I'm rooting for everybody to win because all boats will rise with these high tides, right? I'm rooting for that. But then I'm seeing the distinction between, like you said, authenticity, independent. Then we on air. Stephen A goes on his independent podcast. Let me tell you about Shannon. And then he go on air. One, he was with Shannon, and then the next time he's not with Shannon, he's just like, whatever. And it's like, is this the same? Is this a bizarro world? Like, it just don't seem real. Like, this stuff ain't all leveling out. I don't know how to really sum it up, but stuff is looking weird. And this is what you got.
I didn't like that Stephen A did that.
Oh, let's go.
I ain't like that because I get it. You want to speak out about it because it's the biggest thing in sports, and you work with this guy. But there's things in that he could have just not said.
Like what?
Like, I was in the meeting with Bob Iger or one of them, Jimmy Pitaro, whatever, one of the guys. He was like,
Pitaro.
I can't protect you, but I wasn't there. Yeah. I hope he didn't do it. Yeah. You don't got to do it because now what you're doing is like you like painting the picture. Like, okay, this might be true. And then you just putting that narrative out there with the bosses that he's going to be out of there. Like, he could have just not said any of that and said,
They just gave him $100 million. He's in the room.
He's a company man.
He could have just not said anything. He could have just not said anything. If it's my boy and he's going through that, I'm just not going to say that.
But those are the forces.
I'm going to just sit this one out.
Those are the forces. You have an opportunity.
Make you say something. You got a platform. You
can
have to speak on it.
You can speak on it without saying certain things.
No, that's true.
And it sounded
absolutely.
like it almost came across like he was throwing him under.
Yeah, no, that's real.
And it was like, you didn't have to do
the
that.
way I saw it, and look, everybody know that I look at Stephen A. like, I know him and then I know it. And I don't like it, but I like him. So like, I'll just be like, you ain't gonna like me because I'm never gonna stop talking about you versus it. That moment was a manipulation and an undercut of Shannon Sharpe. It was intentional. because he's sophisticated enough to know how not to do that. When I see you talk about Jay-Z and you vouching for something that happened 20, 30 years ago, allegedly, that didn't even happen, but maybe that's your confidence. And it ain't affecting your bottom line, so I'm going there for Jay. But then this affects your bottom line, and you literally already said you had a conversation with your bosses, which I think the conversation was like, yeah, come on, Stephen A., you know what it is. Like, we can't do this. Now, you go figure out how to say that because you brought him here, and you were attached to him. But then he comes out, and he's just like, look, I don't know, innocence or guilt, which is already something you were saying Jay-Z couldn't have done this. I was like, but you didn't say,
I know Jay-Z.
I know Jay-Z. You know Shannon. Oh, you don't?
Right.
We don't?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
No.
And I'm like, dog,
Shady as hell.
if my boy ever said I wasn't there, you just saying anything could have happened.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't want Stephen A. to lose $20 million and all that, and I don't want Shannon to be the reason. But I also don't want you to be the reason Shannon don't get $100 million by not being his boy in that moment. So play it. Play it. If you don't know, you don't know. You don't say, I don't know, and that's why I'm saying I know I got to say something.
Plus, he was using words to soften his own stance. I sent that to you. He was like, it made me uncomfortable. What the fuck does that mean?
It
made you uncomfortable.
The boss has already told you it's in for him. Do you want to get some of this too?
Exactly.
And you're like, no, I ain't feel good about that.
Right
As soon as he did that, I was like, oh, he washed his hands of his boy completely, which means they probably weren't boys to begin with. It was transactional.
We knew they weren't boys. Remember when Shannon was gone from Fox? And Shannon was running with this narrative, and I let him run. Me and him even got on the phone. I was like, I ain't got nothing to say.
And he outed him. I know where you going.
Shannon had everybody fooled that he had mutually agreed to leave Fox and walked away. And then Stephen A. gonna go somewhere and say, he got fired, and I hooked him up. I was like, and I ain't called Shannon back on that or nothing like that. I was like, that ain't my business, but y'all got something to talk about. And at that moment, I knew this was just like, yo, Shannon is popping. We popping. Let's pop together. But that don't mean we rock together.
I think it was the opposite. I don't think they was popping. I think Shannon was. And
You don't think First Take was popping? It still was number one. Don't do that.
Anybody that was really still watching it like that.
I don't watch it either, but number one is number one.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, back at like 10 years ago, I worked at this job where ESPN would just run all day. Nobody was actually watching it.
That's still today.
I know. My point is, there's a difference between you having ratings and having cultural impact.
Oh, relevance.
And sometimes you have ratings just because it's a popular channel and it's just on. But people were actually watching Shannon. I don't know if people were actually watching Stephen A. like that. But that's a good point. Yeah, I'm just thank you, appreciate that. But with Stephen A., I think he felt the pressure of the impact of Shannon and what they was doing over there. Right. So as soon as he was out, he was like, oh yeah, now I could be the big homie again. Because he's gone. I'm going to tell everybody he got fired. And I was, look, I came and saved the day. You know, us over here, number one, I brought him in.
Right.
Because I like Shannon.
The chess move.
It's a chess move. So now it makes you look like the guy.
Right.
When you weren't really the guy. So I just think that's how he did it. He played
now
into
it. Makes him look like he may have made a mistake. So now he's uncomfortable.
I don't think nobody looks at it as Stephen A. making a mistake because I don't think anybody believed they was really cool like that to begin with.
Ooh, that part. Nobody was fooled by that. Look, let's not do Stephen A. like this either, because raise your hand if you're a self-preservationist. Raise your hand if I give a fuck about myself more than all y'all motherfuckers. I love you, love you, love you. Trust me, if the dude walking here, I got one for somebody, I'm like, it better be them. Because I am not, I don't even, like, don't think I don't love you. But he did it. I love me more. He did it. I am T.O. I love me some me.
Terry, he's like,
go on, T.O. I ain't going to call one of y'all out, but it ain't going to be me.
He pointing.
right.
Somebody got to get it in. It ain't
Hey,
me.
what do they say? If a bear's chasing you, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just got to outrun your boy.
Yeah.
He tripping everybody.
Oh, boy.
He's tripping everybody.
This hip ain't going to give it to me. Come on, hip. Let's go. I can get tripped. I
You're going to be in fourth place.
So I am a self-preservationist like Stephen A. But I always say it, protect the guilty. And I just say that because I know how to win without you losing. And that was a moment I'm like, dog, you could have won that moment without Shannon looking like he lost. Right, yeah. And that was a moment that really swayed public opinion because they was like, dog, if the closest thing we can associate him with professionally is like, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable, this ain't it. And Stephen A. had the execs hand up his back. Like, they were just like, say it how you want to say it, but you know what's about to happen. And that's fraudulent too. Because I always tell this story, and this is when the first time I looked at Stephen A. different, is when he called Max asking, literally, we need you on First Take. And I was sitting in the studio, because I'm ear hustling. It's quiet in the studio. He on the phone. He hang up the phone, and this is why I love Max no matter what. Max hung up the phone, he didn't even wait for me to say, what was that about? He's like, dog, they want me. I think I'm going to have to go. What you think? And I said, peace. Like, go get that. And we just breaking it down, and it wasn't no like, let me go talk to my agent. Let me like backdoor you. Let me leave you in the dark. He just broke it down. I was like, this is like, I already knew he was, but I was like, that's a motherfucker. And then I was like, but then I saw how Stephen A. flipped that publicly to everybody when he didn't like how Max was doing with him, whatever that was. And I was like, that's what you gonna do? I know how you used to text her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Girl, what you up to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I don't trip on her. I'm like, no. I know that. So when that was the first time I looked at him sideways, and I've always kept that in mind whenever he gets to these sticky situations. I'm like, he ain't gonna hold your hand. He ain't gonna look out for you. And then Shannon Sharpe, if you don't, I get you don't look out for Max, because Max was hurting your brand. Max was beating you up. Max was making you look a little different. Shannon wasn't doing nothing but helping you be bigger. Help that 100 million come. He want his 100 million. And then this is why you play him? That's wild.
But I think there's two things to that. One, because two different points. Max, when we talk about authenticity, everybody always liked Max Kellerman because he always came off as authentic. Yeah, so even when he was when Stephen A. started taking shots at him, everybody was turning on him because everybody's like, Max has always been the same guy.
Yeah.
You're the one that's acting different.
No matter the platform.
Right. No matter the platform, he's always been himself. So I think that turned a lot of people against him for that. And then with the Shannon, you say, yeah, Shannon was helping him, so he shouldn't have been like that with him. But I don't think he thinks Shannon was helped. Like, he knows that Shannon, I think he knows, I just said a few minutes ago, Shannon was bigger than him. You know, he had more of an impact.
Everybody been saying that.
He needed Shannon, but I think the ego in him would never acknowledge he needed Shannon, because in his mind it's all about those ratings, because he brings them up every time. So in his mind it's like, I still got to act like I'm the big dog, even though I need him over there.
He big dogged him.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, he big dog Max too, and it was easier to digest because he was the bigger dog,
right? And
it was his house that Skip gave him, right. And then he took and ran with, and then he was like, Max, you need me. And he couldn't say you need me, Shannon, because Shannon was so big by himself. Like Club Shay Shay. Like think about it. You going to work. This is what happens in football a lot of times. Like, Shannon got Club Shay Shay, which is the biggest thing on independent sports media, pretty much, right? You can say McAfee, but it's Shannon or McAfee. He got the most watched interview ever on YouTube. Did y'all hear what I just said? God dang. Right. You know how many interviews on YouTube? They just uploaded 9 million this moment. And he got the most watched over like Trump, Hillary Clinton. What? Okay, so that's that. Then, I just created another one that got about a couple million subscribers. Nightcap with Ocho. You want me to do more? I got Bubba. I got Club 520, right?
Jeff Teague.
Yeah.
Jeff
Teague. He like, what you talking about here? And so you can't sun me. But the only thing you got over me is you did hook me up with this ESPN gig. So whenever it becomes in question, this ESPN gig, I better duck, because you're going to sun me. And that's how he did him. He literally, in that moment, went at his head.
Is Stephen A. and ESPN, are they the 2018 or what was that 17 Warriors? And then Shannon is KD.
KD.
Is that
Yeah.
the analogy we looking
We
at?
need you. I beg you. What
Right.
was it? Something 5.
When we went to the Hampton 5.
Hampton 5.
Yeah.
And then when we win the championship, then everybody like,
ain't
we
that
were
big.
champions before
Right,
him.
right,
Yeah,
right.
okay, motherfucker. Your ass came begging for something.
That's the analogy that we're looking at. I think.
Yeah, I love that. All right.
Your big homies. So Skip put Stephen A on, but then Shannon superseded Skip.
Yeah. Oh,
so
absolutely.
I think Stephen A looks at that like that. The guy who brought me in, he done took over his spot.
Right.
So now he's coming in, and he can't let him walk into ESPN and take over that too. I think also that's why he tried to play the big dog thing.
Yeah.
He got fired.
That's what
to
Michael Corleone.
diminish how big he was. Like, yeah, they fired him.
Yeah.
Like,
Somebody said one of the forces was Stephen A. I know we already got on tape Matt Barnes saying it was Shaq trying to look out. But somebody said that, Stephen A. realized that I got my $100 million. I don't need him no more. Let me get rid of him. And I haven't done homework on that. I can't say I don't believe it. I haven't done homework on that yet because I'm like, I need something else to connect to. But if you Shannon, I represent everybody, dog. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I'm Shannon, I'm like, I got an independent show bigger than your independent show, and I created a second one that's bigger than yours. So I know you ain't feeling all love for me. And then, I'm on ESPN First Take, but let's be real. We bar food. Like, everybody got it on at every damn, hotel lobby. And then we got our ratings, and we ain't got no competition. Like FS1, I don't know what they doing. Facility, good luck.
Nobody watching
You know what I
that.
mean? So, like, nobody watching that. Especially basketball season. It's like, what? 4 football players or 3, whatever. So the point is, it is. And then he, like, in the moment when you can actually show that you are the boss, which means I'm going to look out, I put down. Man, with friends like that, you don't need enemies.
Cold world.
Cold world. All right, we might be on our last topic, but I'm not sure because I smell that boo-boo, that irrigation coming through right now.
I smelled it when I came in.
Oh, you did? You said it smelled good.
Smelled good this morning.
See, you lying. Somebody said it smelled good.
Marcellus, I
That's high.
got something though.
Oh, go get something.
How do we let Shaq just get away with putting a bounty out for dirt on cats?
Oh, I know how.
He get away with everything.
First of all,
what I said earlier.
first of all, his personality gets him in the door, and then when he's in the door, you like, oh shit, he got away. You got a big dog. Like he's Shaq.
He Shaquille
Remember he said he
Corleone.
was gonna do something to Shaq if he saw him in person. What episode?
Oh yeah,
was
remember that? Yeah, early. That's
And
before
everybody was like,
No,
nah.
you not, dog. When you see, you know Shaq.
We did a commercial with Shaq back in the day, a Reebok commercial.
Yeah,
He's one of the biggest human beings you ever see in
Dog,
your
you're
life.
to his hip flexors. What the fuck is you gonna
Yeah,
do?
barely.
Yeah.
But that don't mean you can fight. Shit. I mean,
No, it does.
no, it doesn't.
It's something.
I would never fight him, and
Risk
I
it.
don't never. even never.
I wouldn't
Never.
try to
He
hit
will
him in the
whoop
jaw.
your dog.
And he's a pro athlete.
I'd hit him
So-
in his knee.
Dog, you see that room over there? He'll be in there hitting you from there. You talking about I missed it. You got 18 more
Richie,
feet to come.
he's from Chi-Town, no. He's from Chi-Town. So
Now,
listen.
and to be clear, I didn't say I wanted to
Don't
fight
get it fucked up.
Shaq. I didn't say I wanted to fight Shaq, but I
No,
would
you
have.
gave me that. Oh, what are you gonna do?
Wow, look, that's how I think. I would speak my mind to him, and I think that's some rotten shit that he did, and I can't get over that. That's rotten. You got other NBA players calling each other, talking about Shaq got a bounty out for another dude's dirt. How much more rotten can you fucking get?
Well, it's a payback thing because they already.
I
had
don't care
tension.
what it is.
I agree. I'm just telling you.
I don't agree.
I'm giving you.
I don't
backstory.
agree. I don't play that game, but I don't hate that game.
Yeah.
Look, him and Shannon got beef way back to playing days of Shannon. Like, this is deeper than like recent media stuff. Like and it's always around a girl.
But it
probably.
had to be about a girl.
Gotta be a better girl, something like that. But it goes back 20-something, 30 years. I don't know the details, but I heard a little bit of it. Here's the game. I got beef with you. I got money and nothing but free time. What they say, air and opportunity. And there goes the air. Now, I got money to play with, shoe money. Geico commercial, whatever they are, Icy Hot. 100 stacks. Tell me something about them I don't know. Is that a crime? Is that unethical? Or it means Big Bang gonna take Lil Bang in the ways that Big Bang could take Lil Bang?
It's just.
I'm playing devil's advocate partly because I don't play this game.
It's just rotten.
Or I got to get it with my own merits. I got to find out on my own. I must listen. I must find his text. I got to find his phone. Or I could pay you 100 stacks, which is nothing to me. Go get it for me, and then I'll holler at you. I know. Look, huh?
I said, who recorded Matt Barnes though? Like, how did this get out?
How did that happen?
That's the
real
problem
question.
because like Shaq can get information. That's not a big deal. But like, how are we hearing this? Like, that's the person who.
That was the weirdest.
Y'all
part.
don't think that that's egregiously wrong?
No, I think it's whack, and I think it's. I
mean, we're all.
I think it's sinister.
I
think it's Buster.
Yeah,
that's Buster. I don't do that.
Right.
It's a G code.
It's a G code.
You're from the D.
Yeah, it's a G
Y'all
code.
are from the inner city in L.A. You know good and well that's not how shit goes. Right. Trip,
I
tell
don't know.
them. That's some bullshit,
I don't know.
man.
Okay, let's be real. I've never put a bounty on somebody. I've never put money down. But I do know the flip. I know people really out there that do stuff that are active. It's like, if you ever need something, Wiley, I got you. Yeah. And they look at you like this. And you be like, all right, I heard you.
Oh, yeah.
And they still looking. Like,
I got that too, Marcellus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
I got that.
Right. And look, I know what that would come with, probably.
Yeah.
Like, and frankly, it would mean, oh, I need some help. Done. Now I need some help. Done. But the point is, I know that world, and I'm not gonna lie to you. If someone messes with my itty bitties, I'm gonna look at him as long as he looked at me that time and be like, he say less.
Listen,
Now you wouldn't do that. Don't lie to me.
Of course I would.
Well, then there it is. You
If
Shaq.
it's my itty bitties. This wasn't his itty bitties.
He ain't.
Nobody-
His itty bitties are big bitties.
Nobody even
petty now.
faulted Matt Barnes for driving 90 minutes to whoop Derek Fisher's ass.
That's true.
Because they were messing with his. He thought he was messing with his itty bitties.
That
is all fair game. But to try to find dirt,
But that's
that
your
you don't even
concern.
know, you don't even know if it's there or not, and you're gonna put a bounty on somebody's dirt.
But now
that's rotten. I will never look at Shaq the same ever again.
I respect that, and I understand that, and I agree with you. But I also understand what's a itty bitty to you and me when Shaq got these grown ass kids now, and he's always been petty. Is like, I care about that. Like, you gotta remember Diesel. Diesel care about all that stuff. He's always been petty wop, right? And if you petty wop, that matters. And when you got money, all that counts. Like, I don't want to justify it. I don't want to come across like that. I think his sense of values is like, oh, I care about this dude talking trash about me. Him and Kobe weren't really cool when Kobe was still here. Remember that? At the end, it was kind of like we trying to salvage. But
Tell me how my ass tastes. Remember that?
yeah, like dog, that's Shaq. Like,
Hey, I'm rephrasing.
that is Shaq.
Magic no look.
No. That is Shaq. We gonna act like with that ain't Shaq? Yeah. Shaq says, tell me how my ass take.
Come on, man.
And I got $100K for you just to tell me what Terry did last night.
Right.
Dog, I know the line you're drawing,
I just
but
don't
I
like
just don't know if I care or think Shaq certainly cares about that line.
Obviously, he doesn't.
Nah. And knowing how the streets work, I mean, 5,000 to get a body now. Like 5,000 bodies out here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it's reported. I ain't even trying to tell you what I know. I'm talking about what y'all could go Google. Right. 5K will get you a body.
Right.
What do you think 100K gonna get you?
I was just as surprised.
Everything I need to know. No, it's real out here.
And I was just surprised. I was just as surprised that Matt Barnes was out there doing the dirty work for Shaq too.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
That didn't shock me in the one bit.
I thought he held himself a little bit tighter than that. I thought his code
What, getting recorded privately? No one holds themselves that tight. We all guilty of that.
I thought his code would be stronger. I thought his code would be
I think his code is
stronger.
like my boy asked me for some dirt on somebody that we don't kick it with as much. He rival. Not enemy, but he rival. Like right now, if we like some other podcasters out there just every time they film, they killing us. And at a certain point, we like, give us We gonna do 100? Y'all looking at me like, I ain't doing no 100. $100. I was like, $100. Give me something on the pivot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fred, give me $100 on Fred. I already know Fred Dirt. Give me $100 on Ryan Clark. You wouldn't do that? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not holier than thou. I haven't done it and I don't do it, but that ain't no fly zone to me.
If I can get my hands on a yearbook, then I'm gonna get my hands on a yearbook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying.
I do understand what you're saying.
There's levels of pettiness, right? And people are petty, and people with money are even more petty, and they can afford to be petty and not think about being petty. Like, that's just like $100,000 I'm just gonna throw out there to be petty, and I'm not even gonna think about that once to get some information that I need against somebody that I don't like. Then yeah, I mean,
that's what happens in the dating.
That's what
game.
happened. I'm not saying that it ain't against the G code.
Come on, the G code is go up to the girl, say hello, what's your name, what's your sign, can I get your number, let's date. Right. The real is somebody walking up to her from the NBA like, I got 20 racks, what you need? And then you like, that ain't G code. It's like, it worked. like that is infiltrating every element of life. Like, you really care about her, and she like, I just got DM'd and a Cash App, and you talking about you like me. Good luck with her. Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck.
But I cooked you dinner.
Yeah. It don't act the same. All right, last topic. We got like 5 minutes on it because we about to play some pickleball. That's what we do. Shadeur got pranked.
Straight
was that
bullshit.
funny or was that funky?
No, that was bullshit. Okay. And the Falcons employee should be reprimanded. I don't know if he should be fired, but he should definitely be. You can't leave that type of information out till your kids can get to prank somebody.
What if they got your code? I ain't leaving out. They went in.
You don't play with you, man. Listen, that's like classified information.
I'm gonna go deep.
What if I get your ingredients to your secret recipe and I let the world know and it hurts you, it hurts them, but you like, I didn't let him know. I didn't let my little, I ain't gonna say your kids' names, but I ain't let little man Jay know. Jay let it out.
He left his iPad open is what they said. He left his iPad open.
MJ and I use the same iCloud. That means every time someone calls MJ, they call me because I want to see who he's talking to. Now, the problem with that is MJ got all my info too. So far, he's 9. He's 9.
So MJ gonna close the deal for you.
Oh, yeah. If they gonna text back and be like, drinks where? I'll be like, what? What are you doing? Dog, I'm not gonna lie. I'm susceptible. I talk reality. I am vulnerable to my wife could read the text because I share the iMessage with everybody.
I get that. What I'm saying is,
you have to know. Yeah, careful. But my wife don't give a damn. But careful.
Until she does.
But she doesn't. But careful. But don't embarrass her. But careful. Hey, next time your ass is at the party, careful. I'm stupid. But yeah, come on, Dad. Dad, you be talking like you don't live. No, you bullshit. Your kids got your info too.
Dog, I know that. What I'm
they
saying
can
is,
swipe right on your ass too.
That was a real life. You can't play with people's life like that. I'm saying if my kids got my info and made a prank.
A 21-year-old in college is a knucklehead.
You said it.
He ain't your daddy. My son would do. Your son, your daughter will do something that's gonna bring the family some shame. Because I did it to my parents.
But to that level though, Marcellus,
the audacity of that.
Dog, it wasn't social media.
Caucasity.
Dog, it wasn't social media, but I did some dumb shit. And my parents had to be like, I'm like, Mama, I love you. I don't know what's wrong. My prefrontal cortex.
Right, I'm not 25.
I'm not 25 yet. I can't rent a car yet. My peripheral.
I ain't mean to set it on fire.
Dog, I'm trying to burn up the house, dog.
Just trying to get the dick.
Come on, man. That ain't his daddy's fault.
I don't know,
Or
man.
well, maybe I'm not arguing you down. I'm just saying, you really gonna hold the dad liable?
That's not.
Can I say something? I'm just
can't.
gonna say, I would hold the dad accountable. We got a 21-year-old here, right?
that ain't a kid.
That's not a kid.
That's not a kid.
Let's stop that right now.
It is.
It still is.
That's
Can
not
y'all
a
stop
kid,
letting the
man.
government tell y'all when somebody grown?
No, he ain't a kid. He's 24, I think he said, by the way.
Now, if
I think
MJ
it was
opened
24.
up your iPad and accidentally called
Her,
Sanders.
him.
I can understand that.
Yeah, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old. We talking about a 20-something-year-old.
Come
Y'all
on,
didn't
it was
do
planned.
pranks?
It
Y'all
was
didn't do
planned,
pranks when y'all were
man.
younger, like prank people. Y'all didn't do that.
Yeah, but we ain't calling.
We ain't
Did
calling
you-
somebody and playing with their
Wait. You said you didn't do that, but you also wasn't in that environment.
Thank
Not during
you.
the drive,
So
bro.
it's two different scenarios.
Yeah, your mom and daddy didn't have the top picks number.
Right.
Come on, man. That's not the drive.
That's true.
Somebody
Yeah.
probably said that to him, like, "Oh, we should do this," and he was like, "That's a good idea." And then he did it.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Was it messed up? Yes.
Nah.
But it
But
was funny.
That's part of the funny.
That wasn't funny.
Like part of the best jokes is
not
like,
Hey, Blaze. Now, how's that
shit,
funny?
that was
though?
funny.
Nah, that shit was not funny.
It ain't
No,
funny.
it wasn't funny.
It's not
He's
funny.
already
Rock.
sliding in the
No,
drive.
why was that funny? That dude
That
was
was
already
funny.
in the 4th round.
Come
He's
on,
like,
bro.
thank God I'm about to get picked. Hold on.
To me,
She laughing. It is funny. Like,
Hold on, man.
I thought that lightened the mood. I thought that actually made it.
That made
better.
it funnier.
Yeah.
To pull the rug from underneath somebody. You remember the game Psych? It wasn't fun when they didn't reach for your hand. It was best when they were like all over their skis. Psych? You're like, oh shit,
But
I
you wanna
got
send
you.
me a social media apology?
You don't play them type of games, man.
No, man.
That was some asshole shit.
Hold on,
but
you
it was
know
funny
that
though.
was
It's funny though.
It was fun. We,
Funny thing is, y'all are more up in arms about a prank call than Shaq looking for information for $200,000.
I'm guilty,
Second
Shaq.
Shaq.
Me too. I got 100K on that.
And we can't call this little kid a 21-year-old kid. And we talked about a 20-year-old OnlyFans chick, woman.
Ooh.
So we can't do that.
Ooh,
We can't
I
do
like that.
Yes,
So-
Stephen
life
A.
is
Smith
about
was
double
like, he
standards.
need his ass whooped. The 21-year-old need his ass whooped. Man, he need to go to jail, man. Put a crime on that. You stole information. You made this man think he was
Stole
getting-
from your daddy? That ain't thief. That ain't stealing. That's daddy
That's
lending.
personal information, though, bro.
Yeah, well, look, first of all, okay, let's break it down. First of all, none of y'all had this problem last year when Cooper DeJean, whatever, the Philadelphia dude, he got pranked last year. Nobody cared. You know why? Because he's white. You know,
I didn't know that.
Anyway,
I didn't even know.
Exact. That's
I
my
didn't.
point. Here's point 2. It's Deion's son that got pranked. Oh, it's different. No, a prospect got pranked. And 3,
So why would he
this is
hear
gonna
about
sound like haterade. You know, every episode I got a little haterade. Why the? There's been thousands and thousands and thousands of prospects. Number 1 picks all the way down. I've never heard of somebody having a dedicated line. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened. To only the NFL. And if with a legendary cave. Negro,
Hey,
you
it's
doing
different.
too much.
It's different
Hey,
right now, Marcellus. It's
Okay,
different.
well, you know, look, Cam Ward didn't have a dedicated line,
He's
and guess
different.
what? And he was
He's
number 1 pick.
different than Shadeur.
But look, point being, you ask for some of the problems that come your way, and if you want to say, I got a line only for them, guess what? Everybody wants that
Cam Ward
because
don't have a
you
thing.
can't have none of these cookies. Is the cookies I want, and all I'm saying is like, dog, I thought there's a part of me that's like, I wish you didn't have to go through that, but. Oh, well, that was pretty good. They got your ass.
I think it was a target on his back, and they used it, man. They elevated on that because he was already going through so much. Hey, how you gonna put that icing on the cake?
That makes it funnier.
Makes it funnier. We laughing now.
That makes it funnier.
He was hurt by that.
Hey, that bothers me. I don't like it.
Hey, Trip, be real.
It was personal.
If you can't deal with a prank call, the NFL gonna be hell to you. You can't, dog. In the locker room, it's hell to pay.
Okay, so they can deal with the prank, but they can't deal with him with his interview.
Dog.
And-
No. I'm talking about the locker room. Like, this is gonna be a button joke forever. They're gonna be pranking the shit out. He a 5th rounder in the locker room. We got jokes.
Right.
And dog, like, we can't make it seem like it's a civil rights issue. Dog, you got clown.
Hey, I don't know.
She got you. How many times you don't walk across the club? Hey, dog, ooh, you see her? I'll be back. Walk over there, and then everybody like, oh, shit.
Did you get it?
Ooh, and we reading body language. We're like, and then you come back tuck tail.
She said, no,
Whatever.
she tripping.
Man, she tripping.
She tripping, man. She tripping.
What's her name? I don't know. She ain't even that cute.
That's why she going home alone.
She wasn't that cute anyway.
I got up close. She wasn't even that cute.
Plus, I love a good.
that
I
face.
love a good prank call too.
It's the
I love it. You remember the Jerky Boys?
Oh, I remember them.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I
they
love
used
a
to
good
play on the
prank
radio
call.
all the time.
A prank call is funny, but I'm just saying you can't. That's livelihood. They was playing with that dude
Oh,
That's
look at you,
livelihood.
soft, charming ass dude.
like livelihood, dog.
Get some tissue.
Yeah, get the tissue. And ain't nothing worse than when the prank go down.
they went down though. They got him.
They got him.
They got his ass. He was like, what was that?
At first, I was like, man, that's
But I
wrong.
did hear somebody else got pranked too. I just read it on my way over here.
Yeah,
It was
Cooper.
another, yeah.
Yeah, he got pranked last year. Nobody.
this year.
Oh, this. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was more.
Yeah.
Man, you look.
I love a good prank call.
Dog, it's the best,
That's
dog.
some of
If
the
I
fun-
could get your ass, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get mad at me. Just come back at me and get me. But I'm always ready, and that's welcome to the NFL. If
So
you
should
should
nothing
do.
happen to that kid though? That did
No,
Nothing.
no,
Come on.
no.
Like
what
like
he was
what?
black.
Like what could
Oh,
happen?
I called a number that you said and purported that I shouldn't call. Who the hell are you? Like if I got, dog, I get telemarketers every day. I don't want them calling me. Can I sue them? No, just don't answer. But you gonna answer in that moment. Yeah. Well, guess what?
That shit was perfect.
Well, hey, my mouth was open. My mouth was open. My mouth was open.
I got crucified for saying that.
I know. I told him to throw the flags. I ain't got no.
Hey, welcome to the NFL, Shadeur. We got nothing but love for you, big dog. Like Tom Brady said it best, man. Prove them right or prove them wrong. Other than that, keep it going. That's episode 25. Respect y'all.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you.
It's so crazy people still stuck in Pat Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers? This is Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.